You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. The most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey. The most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
Frustration get the better of you and make you do things you should never do. You got to keep the faith, you can't surrender. You never know, tomorrow may be brighter. Behind every dark cloud, there's a silver lining. So don't give up hope now. We gotta keep on trying. Keep on going. We gotta keep on moving on. As long as you have health and strength, reaching your goal, nothing should prevent. Every time you fall, get up again. Don't sit down there like that and complain. You got to stand up and continue fighting. Don't give up, keep courage, you must win. Don't you know, behind every dark cloud, there's a silver lining. So don't give up hope now. We gotta keep on trying. Oh Lord, we gotta keep on going. We gotta keep on moving on. Obstacles will get in the way, stumbling blocks to hinder your day. But you can't afford to let them stop you. No matter how hard it is to go through, you got to stand up and continue fighting. Endurance shall win in the ending. Don't you know, behind every dark cloud, there's a silver lining. So don't give up hope now. We gotta keep on trying. Oh Lord, we gotta keep on going. We gotta keep on moving on. Strong positive mind, negative thoughts, leave them behind. We got to go forward in sure certainty. Let no element humbug that possibility. What if you give up? You have no way of knowing if next day would have brought good tidings. Don't you know, behind every dark cloud, there's a keep on trying. We gotta keep on going. We gotta keep on moving on. We know it's a long and winding road, and we got a heavy load, but we have to hold it straight. Get up and try again, because behind every
Keep me as the apple of thine eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wing. O Lord, my Savior. It's so hard to deal with personal struggle. So sad when you feel alone in your trouble. It's real hard when you want to talk to a brother. It's so bad because of how some look at you after. So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover my head. Satan want me dead. Cover my back from human attack. So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. People see you smile, but don't know the hurt that you're feeling. Even as God's child, at times your heart does be bleeding. Where can you go when you're really looking for healing? Who know how to flow when your soul needs some restoring? So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me home from evils unknown. Cover my feet so I'll never retreat. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover my brother, cover my sister, them who under pressure. Cover, 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 cover the preacher, every church worker, the young believer. Cover, 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 the worship leader and intercessor, every gospel minister. Cover, cover, cover. Jesus alone is the one who has the real answer. The one on the throne is the true and loving Father. He will hold your hand and keep you from going under. He will make you stand and let you know he's a fixer. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me mind. You know the struggle sometimes. Cover me mouth, that the wrong thing wouldn't come out. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover the Christian in the midst of aggression with the power of your right hand. Jesus, cover, cover, cover them helpless children. Jesus, defend them. Send help from heaven. Jesus, cover, cover, cover all them radio stations that blessing the nation. Grant divine protection. Jesus, cover, cover, cover. Cover me. Cover me. Cover me.
Truer words were never spoken. The less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity. An important attribute in successful people is their impatience with negative thinking and negative acting people. As you grow, your associates will change. Some of your friends will not want you to go on. They will want you to stay where they are. Friends that don't help you climb will want you to crawl. Your friends will stretch your vision or choke your dream. Those that don't increase you will eventually decrease you. Consider this. Never receive counsel from unproductive people. Never discuss your problems with someone incapable of contributing to the solution, because those who never succeed themselves are always first to tell you how. Not everyone has a right to speak into your life. You are certain to get the worst of the bargain when you exchange ideas with the wrong person. Don't follow anyone who's not going anywhere. With some people you spend an evening. With others, you invest it. Be careful where you stop to inquire for directions along the road of life. Wise is the person who fortifies his life with the right friendships. If you run with wolves, you will learn how to howl. But if you associate with eagles, you will learn how to soar to great heights. A mirror reflects a man's face, but what he is really like is shown by the kind of friends he chooses. The simple but true fact of life is that you become like those with whom you closely associate, for the good and the bad. Note, be not mistaken. This is applicable to family as well as friends. Yes, do love, appreciate, and be thankful for your family, for they will always be your family, no matter what. Just know that they are human first, and though they are family to you, they may be a friend to someone else and will fit somewhere in the criteria above. In prosperity, our friends know us. In adversity, we know our friends. Never make someone a priority when you are only an option for them. If you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception. It is a prevailing attitude.
Let me say a special hello to all the WZYE 95.9 FM listeners. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's Sunday Talk, Let's Talk Politics with yours truly, Professor Warshid and Uncle Tommy on WZYE 95.9 FM. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we come to you every Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. That's every Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. And you know, as we always say, doesn't matter what color t-shirt you wear. You wear a pink t-shirt, a burgundy t-shirt, a maroon t-shirt. Each and everyone is welcome on Sunday Talk, Let's Talk Politics with Uncle Tommy and Professor Wall Street. And of course, folks, we always say, we originate, we don't imitate. We are the only program on the planet that have an /press to you, the people, that will bring you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Take a listen.
Ansam LeBon and Marshall Nesbitt solemnly swear to conduct this radio program in a true, fair, and balanced manner, ensuring that all perspectives are given equal consideration and that the information presented is objective and unbiased. We pledge to provide a platform where diverse voices can be heard, fostering open and constructive dialogue that serves the best interests of our audience and community. Our commitment is to uphold the principles of journalistic integrity and ethical broadcasting throughout the duration of this program. Thank you.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the only program on the planet that have an /press to you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension, the world, that will bring you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Let me bring in my co-host, the young man himself, the one and only, the man by the better known as Uncle Tommy. Tommy, welcome.
Good afternoon. The truth shall set us free.
There you go. Here you go. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
Talking about truth.
Yeah.
I was looking at Panorama last night and I saw the youngest arranger with a nice band from Tumacac called Roadblock, man, last night. You saw that?
But I know, Tommy, it's about twins. You mean a twin? A twin. I said twins. A twin from Roadblock up in Chumaka Clavantil. I went up there. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go get the video that I did from their place up in Chumaka Clavantil. And Tommy, you know, I feel you just say them thing to get me upset, you know. I feel so, you know.
No, I'm not trying to get you upset. I was trying to compliment Chumakak for making history at 21
No,
years.
I hear you, but
And he started at 17 arranging, man.
huh?
He started to arrange for the band at 17.
Tommy, yeah. Let me tell you this, sir. There's a fella who was the captain at Despers, and he had twin, a son and a daughter, excellent in pants, splendiferous, tremendiferous. And I went up there, and as a matter of fact, I'll call her name, Joan Newell Williams, the former Minister of Culture. You see, Tommy, you just shook her hands, nest, you know. You understand?
It's all right.
So I went up there, Joan Newell Williams told me, and some, I want you to meet these people from Chumakak Lavantel. And anytime you say Chumakak, I right there. So I went up there, Tommy, and boy, I know the earlier, but I didn't even know there had houses in the back there. And the fella kids, they played a rendition. I'm gonna go look for that again, man. Excellent, man. Excellent. Roadblock, excellent. So he said, boy, and Slim boy, you trying to do something in here, boy, and we ain't really getting nowhere, you know. I said, all in talk to the representative. You know the representative? You know the representative for up there, right?
Yeah. Phil
Gerald Hines. Failure of all failures. He and Dr. Rowley went to the failure Olympics, and both of them leaning at the tape to see who go be first. But I think they tie, eh? They tie. They went to the failure Olympics. First in the history of the world, Dr. Rowley, Prime Minister Rowley, and Phil Gerald Hines, they went to the failure Olympics, and they tie. Both of them. I continue. So I say, but all in contact all the MP, they say, boy, Slim, yeah, boy, we try all kind of thing, you know, but the man really ain't pay. All right, I said, don't worry. I will contact him for you.
Are you there?
Yeah. I'll contact him.
Mm-hmm. And?
I contact him.
And?
I contact him.
All right.
No answer. I try again. No answer. That's why I call that guy failure. He's a failure of all failures. And these two kids, boy, Tommy, it hurt my heart. And you know why I call him failure? As you brought that up there, Tommy, that remind me of that. Tommy, you know, Tommy, you have prophet status, you know.
Oh yeah.
You see that quote you said, stray dogs don't bark at every car that pass by? Man, you're 2000% correct, you know? Right? But there be so much thing to me that I can't bark at all them thing on them. And that one, Tommy, been sitting there for years now. As a matter of fact, I go back out and get the letter and all kind of thing what they sent to Phil Gerald Hines. The man is an abysmal failure. And he had to give him credit, you know. He failed his way to the top. But our next failure, Prime Minister Rowley. You see what we have in the back there? Or you see the article today? P&M sell out to the rich. And you know what it is? It hurted him so bad that Dr. Selwyn Kojo talking the truth. He put a post on his Facebook page. We go read that too. I even want to read that. And I do an editorial on it already, yeah? But I didn't have time, Tommy, because, you know, I went out on a run. I already did my 3 miles. I had a client I was to work with. you know, I had to prepare for the show and all this kind of thing to me is you know, boy. I glad they allow me to teach principles of business management, you know, for time management. Yeah, but Tommy, as you say that day,
So you're not teaching international business anymore?
yeah, global business. Yeah. You understand? As you do that, Tommy, you choke the chumaka ants nest. But I feel somebody sent you this morning to do that. I feel
The most high, the most high. But
yes, you're welcome.
I was watching the panorama yesterday.
Mr. Washington, Uncle Tommy, man.
Good morning, man. Good afternoon. How are you?
Afternoon, bro.
It's Sunday lunch and I locked on. I was waiting for it to come on and I see nothing, man. So I quick back on the TV. I saw it, man. Give thanks to like that.
Where you had for lunch today?
Program today, man.
Where you had for lunch today? What was lunch today?
Two chicken, caralo, and a little small pie.
Macaroni pie?
Lasagna.
Oh, lasagna. Wait, what do you make lasagna in Trinidad?
Well, I don't know. We suffer inside and we eat and drink and try to eat the best. All of the time we not cut back on macaroni pie, but we probably have to make sure we eat healthy.
Correct is right.
But Mr. Washington, man, I said I wasn't coming on. I said I was packing up all the clothes, man.
Nah, man, we know we had to come on.
But I know tomorrow, Uncle Donald Trump is swearing in tomorrow, man. So they're getting a new president of America, man.
Yeah, boy. And you know, I feel he go bring back TikTok. Because you know TikTok. You know you can't use TikTok no more.
Yeah, I say nobody knows today. Over about the TikTok in America, I know they can break down, network break down.
No. They pass a law. Unless TikTok sells to a United States corporation, they're no longer in existence here in United States. I can access my TikTok account.
But Mr. Washington, this man tap out of the race? Ain't we wrong?
No. Prime Minister already tap him out.
Tap him out?
Yeah, he tap him out.
Shall I say that Dr. Oli, that good leader, he's bringing more young people to the party, and I see that man like he going back up for his seat, you know. That Rasta man, Leons.
You going back?
Yeah, he's thinking about it.
Nah. Doctor, Prime Minister already don't want him back. Yeah.
You want him back?
Nah, you want him back.
Well, Mr. Washington, we have a type program today, so I said, Mr. Grafton to Tunji and listen and your crew. What going to go on and Joseph, we take a rest, sir?
Now the PNM tell him take a rest.
Well, you have to come on this program and take a political cut, say, boy.
Yeah.
Come on, like you wake up, man, like you wake up.
Yeah, the PNM take a rest. That's like how the PNM tell Aisha well them to take a rest. The PNM tell them to take a rest. You know what I mean?
Like we put them on the bench, but I still put everybody on the bench and I but just station. But another time we will talk about that. We have been programming from Monday to Tuesday.
Yeah, man.
Sunday and Tuesday because this program, nobody had better than this program. You're going strong and keep up the good work, and this is your station. I love to listen.
Bless. Yeah, Tommy. So back to roadblock now. You I mean, them fellas and the fella from up there, right? Them kids was them, you know, boy. They play. I forget what they play, boy. Tommy. I don't go and look, Tommy. I don't go and look for that, boy. I had to look for that. Real thing, boy.
But they play really well.
Huh?
They play very well.
Excellent, splendiferous, tremendous, marvelous, all kind of thing, boy. Yeah. And I was like, we look at that, boy. Yeah. I said, look at that. Yeah. And today, you see what it is? The continue. You know, when you're from Chumaka, perseverance, you know. You remember that fella song? What is his name again? Perseverance? Johnny King. Perseverance, you know. We learn to persevere in Chumaka, boy. Persevere. Yeah. Failure of a man. Boy, I so much people glad to see his back. Well, they even want to see his back. They want to see his side, his front, his back, nothing. You understand? They just want him to disappear and maybe just leave Trinidad like Prime Minister Rowley. I feel, Tommy, you know, I was thinking about this, eh? I feel when Prime Minister Rowley leave the prime ministership and the political leader, he could be the most despised PNM prime minister, more despised political leader of the PNM and prime minister in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. I don't feel nobody going to want to see him. I feel what you got to do, you got to take a sabbatical and leave Trinidad for about 2 years so people could forget you was ever prime minister and political leader of the PNM. I honestly believe that.
I don't think anybody will ever forget.
No, they ain't gonna forget, but just to get him out of their mind and out of this space. You understand? For him to just, because if you walking around, people look at him, they go get upset. Just let him go and relax himself somewhere, because everybody knows. Well, PNM people don't know, but most intelligent people know that Prime Minister Rowley legacy is that he's the worst prime minister in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, the worst political leader of the PNM in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, the worst prime minister for black people in Trinidad and Tobago, and you could go on and on and on. And not only that, you look, Dr. Selwyn Kojo, PNM sell out to the rich. What says you on that, Tommy? What says you?
You know, it's really a shame. I was listening to David Muhammad's latest recording, and I was saying to myself, it's such a shame. I don't even know what else to say.
I listened to it about 5 times already, and it prompted me to do an editorial with the 15 sellout black PNM MPs. Sellout. All of them, and I keep saying, you know, all of them, or every one of them had to go sit down on the bench. Every one of them. They serve no purpose in Trinidad and Tobago to people that look like them. All of them, every single one of them. Mover Defender, welcome.
Hello, blessed afternoon. I'm going to
Blessed afternoon.
Blessed afternoon.
What should I tell me?
Yeah.
Do you all know what is the purpose of the Office of Procurement Regulator?
Yes.
One of their main functions is to regulate the sale of state assets and land, right?
Correct.
Nice. Also with the contracts and whatever, right?
Correct.
Do you know that the sale of the refinery is not under the OPR?
I didn't know that.
Well, I need to go and do some research on that. I took a joint select committee meeting on, I think, Friday, if I'm not mistaken. I could be corrected. And the MP for San Juan Barataria asked the Office of Procurement Regulator to head. Her name is Beverly Khan. Could the refinery be sold without being under the OPR? Rashid? I kid you not. That woman stayed silent for like almost 3 minutes. And a response then came after 3 minutes of silence. She cannot comment on it.
She can't comment on it?
Rashid, I kid you not.
You're sure?
I could talk. Rashid.
You have that? You have it? You have it?
I'm gonna get it for you.
Send it to me.
We need to get serious because I find we need talking, man. We need talking. I'm starting to feel like if I'm a keyboard warrior now, boy. Because what shit? I see into the future. I know the OPR was only to throw the small man. It had no other
Purpose.
Thank you, Uncle Tommy. Thank you, the small man. Because what shit? How come one of our largest assets, if not the largest?
It is the largest.
Is sold, but not under regulation powers. And we are sitting and saying nothing.
That's the worst part of it.
Just like I saw in the future. Watch, I don't know if you know how I started talk show conversation. I listened to the Mugabe station. But every time they go to ads, it's some kind of corporate ad or some kind of this ad. But no government ad, no PNM ad. So I started to talk about it. And the PNM, they know the PNM, Barry Bonta and them?
Yeah.
They started to call me Iowa manager. Till I was asked to move that name, stop use that name.
Yeah, I know that. I know that.
Now look at where we reached now on the Mugabe station.
Yeah, boy.
So the pastor shaking hands with the Prime Minister to come, the Prime Minister who gone, and he actually called us to help with the program. Seriously?
Yeah.
This is where we reach in Trinidad and Tobago, right?
Oh, God.
But
Yeah.
what should I cut that thing together on a serious note? I would have a lighter side of this conversation. But on a serious note, this sale of this refinery, we have to stand up and make them accountable to sell our asset. That asset do not belong to Kikrowley. That asset do not belong to Stuart Young.
Nobody
Up and say something.
Nobody defender.
Nobody defender. Hold on. Tommy has something to say. Go ahead, Tommy.
Nobody defender. Where is the fourth estate in this scenario?
Uncle Tommy, you still asking. Uncle Tommy, you know how I feel about the fourth estate. I told you the fourth estate failed us a long time ago.
You know, but can anybody hold their feet to the fire? Is there any recourse?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Uncle Tommy, is more corn feed, more fowl, and we are not corn.
You could say that again.
Think about it, Uncle Tommy. Uncle Tommy, the fourth estate failed us since the African Bank. And we can name a long list.
Yep.
So I say, we need to place also.
Yeah.
You know, they say put it on the front burner. Watch it over stove, you gotta get the party front burner, the amount of issues happening in China today, right?
Boy, you gotta get a 100 burner stove. Yeah.
It's sad though, boy. I'm waiting for the first episode.
Yeah, man, bless. Caller, welcome. Caller. A financial guru, call back. Tommy, let me see something. Tommy, take this here for a minute. I want to do something for a minute.
Yeah, well, the fourth estate is who is responsible for what is wrong in Trinidad most of all. Because the fourth estate is supposed to hold the feet to the fire, the feet of those who are in charge of our affairs. And when they fail us,
I know
Okay, Tommy.
when they fail us, they themselves need to be put out to pasture. And this will never.
Hello?
Yeah.
Caller, welcome.
Yes, Professor Wall Street. Professor Wall Street, you're going to give a defender a round of applause. Because I don't know if Mova defender does read my mind, but when you went St. Lucia, you remember what time you went St. Lucia, Professor Wall Street?
October.
Do you remember?
October?
Right. October.
Yeah.
You wasn't in that show. But Tommy, Uncle Tommy, you remember I was talking about Petrotrin? Do you remember? You need to go back to that show. I had pointed out that Beverly Can, in the sale of the assets, because as I told you, the investment bank that I worked for was very accurate with the operations of the sale and the financing of Petrotrin assets in the early 2000s. So what Mova Defender is pointing out, I actually saw this morning and I was about to call. This is a very serious issue with regards to the disposal of the assets. And I want to point out three things quickly, and I want to connect it. The Petrotrin disposal of the assets is under the procurement law. They have watered it down. Colin Burt said the previous government excluded the disposal of land and properties, real property, from the Procurement Act. And what he said was, he made an amendment. This is under 57A or something like that. And what it says is that the Parliament has to approve by negative affirmation. Negative affirmation is one man, one vote, I believe, of what the Cabinet approves with regards to the disposal of assets. Now, for the last 2 years, although the procurement legislation has been proclaimed, the Parliament has not gotten that negative resolution by Mr. Imbert, because the Cabinet, the Rowley Cabinet, Stuart Young, Keith Rowley, Colin Imbert, and company have not approved it. So therefore, what Nova Defender is pointing out is that they can sell that asset like a fire sale. And let me just point out one thing. Mr. Comena, who is the chairman of Heritage and Trinidad Petroleum Hold, Michael Comena, who is Rowley's legal representatives, just like Mr. Young before he came into the cabinet. He indicated Mr. Ruston Parry had asked him, I see that the valuation of the Warakara or the Point-of-Care assets on the books is about 4.1 billion. He indicated in the parliamentary committee that actually that 4.1 billion, they're going to extricate the tank farms, the pier, and the pipelines, because he says previously, when people were making bids, they were underinflating the assets. In other words, they were making a underbid for the assets, so they're going to separate it out. However, this is what I want people to listen. He indicated in that parliamentary committee that the assets is not worth 4.1 billion. So what does that mean, Professor Wall Street, Uncle Tommy, and everyone? It means that those three, Inca, Awando, that you pointed out had issues that they finalized. We don't know what they could bid that for. They could bid for nothing. And that patrimony, that 4.1 or 3.5 billion that Patriotic was bidding, when they was bidding initially, it was $750 million in 2020 that come Imbert and Atolia Franklin can messed up because they didn't understand the issue of what is called subordinate debt, where the assets of that Guaracara refinery was linked to the previous bondholders, so they couldn't sell it, and they broke the deal, and because he told them to hold that 750 million US and we'll finance it at a deferred loan after 3 years. That's the principle of reliance. So let Mova Defender send it. Uncle Tommy, Professor Wall Street, everyone, those assets do not belong to Keith Rowley and Stuart Young and company. It belongs to every one of us. And we can't go back to pre-Russia 1990. One more thing I want to point out, which is very important. Stuart Young, the Prime Minister to be, went into Parliament and he basically railroaded Patriotic's bid because it was a non-disclosure. How did Stuart Young get the information on the letter of intent, the so-called letter of intent that was fraudulent? That he did it under the parliamentary cover to railroad Patriotic. So this deal, it smells, they say, if it walks like a duck, Uncle Tommy and Professor Wall Street and everyone, it quacks like a duck. It is probably a duck. Let Mova Defender send that, and please give him a round of applause for pointing out that we cannot allow this to be going on. These fellas are hoodwinking us, I believe, and we have to show them up. Have a good afternoon, folks.
Thank you, man.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, the financial. Yeah, we are, Tommy, when we say we have financial guru here, we have financial guru, not I go along, get along, PNM gang guru, who only coming and giving you information. And then you have the announcers that I'm giving you misleading information. You know, it's the facts, the whole facts and nothing but the facts, you know. But Tommy, let me quickly
But
run.
in an objective manner.
Correct. In an objective manner. You understand? Not subjective. So it could be pro PNM. You understand? We give you the facts. You may not like the facts, but it is the facts. Let me quickly run through there because Tommy, you said about David Mohammed. And Tommy, I ain't gonna lie, boy. I listened to that thing and I was cringing, Tommy. You see the 15 of them on the screen there? You see them? Them on the screen there? Them have failed the 61% of those PNM supporters who voted for them. They have failed them miserably. And all of them, every single one of them had to go. All of them had to go. Make no qualms about it. They have failed the people miserably. Well, we already know the ringleader going. You know, Tommy, I was thinking about this too. I think this is the PNM circus with a bunch of jokers. I'm not going to say clowns because clowns are the most intelligent people in our circus. But a bunch of jokers. Jokers. Yeah? All right. Let me go to the chat here real quick so we could get this out of the way because we have coming up at 2 p.m. We have Dr. Wayne Hayde going to join us. Takesha was first in the village today. Well, in the village in Sunday Talk. Takesha, welcome. Takesha is one of original, you know. Original. Mr. Intellectual said, good afternoon, Pro Uncle T and all villagers. Hope you all are having splendid first Sunday in spite of the continuous murderous SOE. Yeah. Caribbean Soul, welcome. Volsang, boy, you ain't early today, bad now. Blessed afternoon, Wars, Uncle Tommy, Hanif and Takesha. Yeah. Oh, Volsang said, good afternoon, Soul. I see you made a winning comeback. What comeback is that? Yeah. Yeah, I see that, you know. Rowley legacy decline, deficit, debts, and downgrades. Yeah, I see that article, man. I was going to comment since 9 a.m., but I left it. So at that rate, you're gonna need therapy, boy. Yeah, you're gonna need therapy. Robert Nesbitt, boy. Welcome, boy. Family, boy. Family. Caribbean still want to know if Lisa go get you. Yeah, she go. Which Lisa? Lisa would be here? Good day to all our Kieran Anderson and the Beaton, boy. Anderson locked in, boy. Lower Hair Salon Spa, boy. Hi, Professor Walsh and Uncle Tommy. Welcome. What should you pledge right? Politic, not politic. Nah, that is a pun. That is a pun. Yeah, Tommy had pointed out too. That is a pun. We when we put that up. Oh God, Volsang say Walls. I agree. Uncle Tommy is a wily one, but he knows when to step on your corn. Tommy, they're figuring out, you know, Tommy.
I just try to do what I'm supposed to do. That's all.
All right. Look, busy boy. Good day, Uncle Tommy and Wall Street. All listeners locked on Sherry Live. The destiny of a man lies in his own hand or himself. Today's menu: red beans, rice, and palmas. Morby mixed with honey goatweed. You mean honey goatweed? Bijam, watch yourself, you know, Bijam. Tommy, the man. Nah, he joking. The man say honey goatweed, you know, Tommy. Nah, he ain't say honey, it's honey.
Nah, it's sweet instead of honey.
Bijam have a different type. You have a different type of goatweed down there in Sandy Grande. Oh God, honey goatweed, boy. Yeah, folks, share the life. Let me put. Oh God, I go do that just now. Rudy Ragupat. Rudy, where you joining us from? Let's know where you're joining us from, Rudy.
Welcome to Sunday Talk, Rudy. And don't forget to tell a friend.
Yeah,
Tell your friend.
Yeah, correct is right. Sometimes you can't BC, you're toothless, you can't bite. Okay. Look, Lisa, come boy. Look, Lisa, all you. Good afternoon, guys. I thought I wasn't going to get through. Yes, now, Lisa, you get through, you get through. Lua says, that's a strange lasagna question. What you mean, Lua? I don't understand. I don't know. I thought lasagna was something they make outside of Trinidad. I didn't know they make lasagna. I never got no lasagna when I was in Trinidad. Tom, you had lasagna when you was in Trinidad?
I know what lasagna out here in the US.
But why saying me know about no lasagna in Trinidad? I feel Bijam that's just the point of them think to pull we legs, you know. Seriously. I feel so. Lisa says, boy sang it was down on the list. It was way down on the list, boy. Whatever sidebar they have in there, I don't know now. Lisa like the Costa Noxus trying to block the show. Yeah, full song. If you subscribe and like the page, it should come up on your feed when the show is about to start. Yeah, always subscribe. When all you subscribe, as soon as we go live, all you go get the message. And all you not to worry whether all you get the thing from when I send it out. Once you subscribe and you like the page, WZYE TV on YouTube, you go get everything. You're good to go. All songs check current share on procurement legislation. Lisa, you're correct, you know. You can't put nothing past them. The wicked, you forget the evil part. The evil part, boy. They are compromised, Uncle Tommy. Everyone's seeking their own interests. Tommy boy, oh God, Tommy boy. They're picking on you today, boy, Tommy. Early boy, Tommy boy. Fat Soul say Rowley has been capitalizing on the ignorance of black people, making himself and his associates risk in the process. Yeah, I mean, 61% of them. Just Roger. Yeah, I hear how Dominic does bat for the PNM. A man was, one day that man chairman of the ILP. Next thing he, them good, boy. They're good. They're real good, boy. They're good. Yeah, the ministers were bullying to voting for Stuart Young. Just Roger, you are absolutely correct. Prime Minister did a bully job, boy. Bully them. Bully in the China shop. Bully them to the left. Bully them to the right. Bully them all over the place. Yeah. Patricia, welcome. Blessed Sunday afternoon to Professor Watchman, Uncle Tom, and everyone locked on. Have a great Sunday. Yeah. Virginia, welcome, man. Welcome. Okay, yeah. Let me see that. What? Lasagna is growing. Tell me, what was I'm talking about? Lasagna is growing trees in Trinidad walls? Wolfgang, put on that glass, eh? Or it's something I don't know about, Tommy. I know. Anne-Marie Bolan, good afternoon. Eh?
We learning.
Yeah, that's what we're here for, We're willing to learn, man. What tree is that, Wolfgang? Which tree is that? It was Karen who influenced and passing of the procurement legislation. Hi. Banman, welcome. People are asking about Stuart Young's stepdaughter and her drug cases. Banman, you see them kind of thing? Me really. In the scheme of things, I really. Stray dogs, Tommy, we can't back at everything. You see them kind of thing like stepdaughter and stray and the drug case and all them kind of thing.
Distractions.
Yeah. I don't know. Banmea. Sometimes I wonder if Banmea is a PNM, Seriously. You feel he's a PNM? Let me see if this person want to get on or not, Tommy. Take thing for a minute there.
Yeah, well, as we know, there are those who are going to be there to get our focus off on the wrong direction, but we got to stay focused because we have to continue talking truth to power.
Yeah. Correct is right. All right. So here's the clip what Mova Defender was talking about. Let's play this.
Maybe this might fall under the OPR. And this is a question that we may have to think of. Can we dispose of the refinery without these regulations because the act is fully proclaimed?
Volume.
No, she's silent. Daddy silence.
Remember, I'll be honest, I cannot say. I don't want to, I haven't thought through that. But even in the absence of regulations specifically, we did provide some guidance on the disposal, guidance related to best practice in disposal of real property, and best practice in alignment with the requirements of the Act, right? That is as far as the OPR went in this particular matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Tommy boy. Boy.
I like the fact that Bova Defender don't miss a beat.
Yeah, but I mean that. Why? Tommy. And when people say this government wicked and evil, when they say that, people are, oh God, all they hate the PNM, all they hate Rowdy. No, it's truth to power. Them fellas knew that, They knew it, and they get exposed again. They tired get exposed. They tired get exposed. It's expose after expose after expose, boy. Tommy. Yeah, but PNM sell out to the rich. And let me read what the Prime Minister said real quick. Let me read what he said real quick. He upset with Selwyn Kojo, boy. He mad Selwyn Kojo exposed him. Let me see here. Let me go to his page. Here we go. Response to another Kojo rant in the Sundays Express. What a piece of racist drive. Sometimes I wonder if the Prime Minister know what is racist or what is not racist,
I think the term racist is just bandied about too loosely in Trinidad and Tobago. They don't. Correct. They need to research what the meaning of racist is and see if what they say is correct or is just using a term that they think will rile up the population from time to time. They need to do some research.
Correct is right. So here is the Prime Minister. This is the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. What a piece of racist drivel. Shallow, intellectually dishonest, and backward in the nation of Trinidad and Tobago. What is most disturbing to us in the PNM and the nation as a whole is that this man could use Dr. Eric Williams' global anti-colonial references to peddle his current brand of horse mania. You will think this is our Prime Minister, And what he gleaned from Dr. Eric Williams is perpetual racism. What we in the PNM learned from Dr. Eric Williams and the PNM is that in our nation building mission, we are not a party in the ordinary sense of the word, but we are forever a rally for all cutting across race, color, creed, and class, united in common mission of building a model nation at last. This is Dr. Williams' dream for Trinidad and Tobago, and it remains a fundamental principle on which the PNM is built. It is against this background that we find Professor Kojo's latest offering unhelpful and deeply offensive. He must be and will be ignored in his weekly quest to spread hatred and bitterness into our party, our campaign, and our nation ethos. Unity, somehow, if Trinidad and Tobago ever need you, is now. Paro. Well, Prime Minister Rowley, let me say to you, Let me go. Tommy, let me do this. Let me
go solo.
Yeah. I don't go solo. I have to go solo. Let me go solo here. I want to go solo. Prime Minister Rowley, let me say to you, you are a peddler of race. You, Prime Minister Rowley. And let me tell you this, Prime Minister Rowley, under your watch, CL Financial, the last black conglomerate in Trinidad and Tobago, under your watch, you, Prime Minister Rowley, are selling out all of CL Financial assets. I am sure Mr. Dupré is turning in his grave to know a black Prime Minister is selling out the assets of the last black conglomerate in Trinidad and Tobago. Secondly, Prime Minister Rowley, in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, you are the first Prime Minister to have the most amount of black people living below the poverty line. You, Prime Minister Rowley, you, under your watch, Prime Minister Rowley, we have the most amount of black kids scoring below 50% in the SCA. Under your watch, Prime Minister Rowley. Under your watch, Prime Minister Rowley, you closed down Petrotrin and put hundreds of people and thousands of people that look like you on the breadline. You want to call that racist? You want to call those facts racist? 61% of those who voted for the PNM, Prime Minister Rowley, in the last election look like you. Yet, you have 26% of them living below the poverty line, the most in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. You want to call that racist, Prime Minister Rowley? And you have sold out the PNM 31%. That is a fact. And lately, what you did, Prime Minister Rowley, you imposed the minority on the majority, 61% of people that look like you that voted for the PNM. And I will stop there for now. It is sad. Your legacy will be one of suffocation, and here's a new one, sufflation to people that look like you in Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, Tommy. It is sad, Tommy. It is sad. So sad, right? That this Prime Minister, right? Come on. Dr. Kojo is absolutely correct. 100% correct. And this piece of garbology that he didn't even address what Dr. Kojo talking about. Address that now. Want to CL Financial. Talk about that now. Why you talk about what they're doing to CL Financial assets? And Tommy, well, we don't have no time. But I want to say something about CL Financial too. I want to say something about that. But folks, let's go for the break. And when we come back, we should have
Dr. Hayde
in on Sunday Talk, Let's Talk Politics. We'll be right back.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
Yeah. I used to feel proud. I used to feel glad just to be born right here in Trinidad. The Caribbean Godfather, hand of chutney pan and soul. Like something gone wrong, my whole country turn upside down. Cause we feeling the pain, we feeling the strain. When would there be peace and love here? It's too much of talk and little action. Like we need the master to solve the situation. Feeling the strain. Yes, it's pain, driving the country insane. Oh. Oh, oh. It's endless murders, robberies and rape, little children, seniors nonchalant. We promoting tourism, begging the tourists to come. Between you and me, those with eyes to see, let them see. Cause we feeling the pain, we feeling the strain. When would there be peace and love here? There's too much of talk and little action. Like we need the master solve the situation. I feel the pain, I feel the strain. Yes, it's pain, driving the country insane. Did I know? Oh. Whoa, whoa. Unemployment high, and this ain't no joke. Youths leaving school, can't find no place to go. Then you retrench a worker, he's left on the street to suffer. Not only he, you destroy the whole family. Cause we feeling the pain, we feeling the strain. When would there be peace and love here? It's too much of talk and little action. Like we need the master to solve the situation. We're feeling the strain. Yes, it's pain, driving the country insane. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa, whoa. Too much corruption right here in this land. Illegal drugs destroying this nation. While vagrants and destitutes, they are left on the street alive. It just goes to show we lack concern in Trinidad. Cause I'm feeling the pain, feeling the strain. When would there be peace and love here? It's too much of talk and little action. Like we need the master to solve the situation. Sing the song. We're feeling the strain. Yes, there's pain, driving the country insane. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. The diamond.
Audio. No audio.
Yeah, I know when I come back, this thing doesn't want to do it. We feeling the pain. Yeah? We feeling the pain. Yeah, we feeling the pain. The pain is pain. All right, let me do this. Let me let me do this.
Is the Watchman in the back?
Huh?
Is the Watchman in the blue
Nah,
room?
I just sent him a message.
Green room, rather.
I just sent him a message.
What time is it there?
2 o'clock. Our time is 8 o'clock his time. Okay. Hold on, eh? Let's take this call in the meanwhile. Okay. I want to go on. He's sending me a message now.
We have a call on hold.
Yeah. I just sent him a message. Like, he get the time mixed up.
Who's the caller?
That was Miss Atlanta, but she hung up. Miss Atlanta, call back. Here you go. Miss Atlanta, welcome. Miss Atlanta. Hello? Hello?
Good afternoon, Wall Street and Tommy.
Good afternoon.
That Calypso you played there, feeling the pain.
Yeah.
What year was that? What year that came out?
Let me see if I can get it, boy. Hold on, I ain't sure, nah. How much you about?
Okay.
I'll check it for you and let you know.
Okay, because no, how that sounds so much like a feeling to dead. Your Calypso of today. The one you play a feeling to dead or some kind
No,
of thing.
I'm frightened to live. I'm frightened to live.
I'm frightened to live. I'm
Yeah.
frightened to live.
Yeah.
How that sounds exactly like, I want to know what year that other one came out. And what's the difference? How many years we know that? What has happened from the man who was feeling the pain to now feeling the dead? Let me know what year, please.
Yeah, I'll let you know. Okay. Yeah. I mean, Miss Atlanta that be on the ball, you know.
Oh, yeah.
She want to know what year feeling the pain come out and what year frightened to live come out. Because that's what's going on now in Trinidad, you know. People feeling the pain and they're frightened to live. She's absolutely correct. Oh, God. COP, welcome.
Good afternoon to you, Wall Street.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Uncle Tony.
Yeah.
Afternoon, COP.
Tony, you know. Don't want to say Uncle Tony. I said Uncle Tony. Don't want to say Tony. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. To the Beatum crew and the Snandy boys down there. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, KFC, and to Mova Defender, and to this last caller here. Good afternoon, and Patricia Reed and Caribbean Soul and all them Texas and them. I like to read them Texas and them in the Wall Street.
Yeah,
I like to. They have so much respect. Even though the PNM not costing the UNC and the UNC not costing the PNM, they say good night and good evening and good day to everybody. That is the best I see. That is the best I see. If you look at any other radio station, you listen, especially Bogabi station, is a set of nasty words and all kind of things. And the best set of Texas on this program.
Yeah, we just keep it respectful. We keep it respectful.
Yeah. I admire that about them.
Yeah.
You know, this last caller asked the same question what I asked. When that song come out in 2013.
2013?
That Feeling the Pain?
Yeah.
Out in 2013. And I will speak franco, mentor.
Those Calypsonians and them only know to sing them song and them when a UNC government in power. Yeah, from 2016 to now, ask that Calypsonian what he sing about people feeling pain and the murders and them. They're singing nothing because the party in power. That's why I don't listen to them Calypso and them. I listen to when you play it. Them music can't play in my house and my car and thing because there's sometimes with the words. Very, very sometimes and bias.
Yeah, but KFC, I mean KFC. COP, you know what I do?
Yeah.
I take them Calypso and put it towards 2015 to 2025. You understand?
Yeah.
They may take that Calypso and put it back whenever they want to put it. Right? But I take it and put it from 2015 to now because we really feel any pain in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, they say me. People really feel any pain in Trinidad and Tobago.
And when they sing that song, 100,000 people was hired under the People's Partnership. So and no kind of song like that, them is singing that because the party in power. Yeah. And most of the Calypsonians and them, 91.9% of the Calypsonians and them sing against the UNC. Today they are some of the most poorest Calypsonians that have in this country. It's sad to say. It's very, very sad to say. That's why Calypso reached what it reached today. But I want to thank you for expressing yourself and letting Dr. Rowley know how you feel. I want to give you 10 out of 10 for that. Because it's not just you alone feel so. Most of the citizens of this country feel the same way about Dr. Rowley. Because why it is we must have a black prime minister selling out black people assets and keeping black people in poverty? Why is he making the Indian man, the Syrian man, the Chinese man richer than the black man? And giving them more opportunity so that them, when them become richer, they will help the black man. But for 10 years now, they're not helping the black man. And you just see the statistic in poverty in the black community is raising more. The statistic in the black community and murders raising more. But we have a black prime minister who swear and who take a constitutional oath to say, well, all right, we're going to make your life better. Dr. Rowley, you make our life in Trinidad and Tobago a living hell. You make your wife, your family, and your children life comfortable. You make your sheep pen comfortable with air condition. You're proud to say you're going to resign and go to your family. Why is there a million years today? And go to see about your sheep pen and them. Why is it more successful? You treat your pig pen and your sheep pen more successful than you treat the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And what makes it sad most of all, whilst you know the country in a turmoil and the citizens have no money, they are 10 times poorer than they was when you was in office. You bully us. You take our money, you give yourself 47% more while you're going to resign. Plus you want $1 million back paid. Every year we must give you $1 million. How harsh that is. You're not taking that from the white man, the Indian man and the Syrian man. Why is it give them an opportunity? You're taking that from the poorest people in Trinidad and Tobago. Why is you hit them property tax and the highest set of tax under your administration? And when you done abuse us and put the umbrella inside us and open it, you say take Stuart Young as a prime minister who does nothing for this country. For the past 9 years and more, Stuart Young, Poland Ministries, the citizens of this country benefit nothing from the ministries that they hold. The Ministry of Energy, every quarter, they're supposed to be telling us how much money they make. Today, KFC, Mario's, TGI Friday, and them fast food restaurants and them make more money in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago than the energy sector. Because then those food places boast every month. They make $1.something billion profit. That's only in the quarter. You cannot explain, Dr. Rowley administration cannot explain to the citizens of this country what we benefit from the Ministry of Energy for the past 9 years. And when it's done, you want to sell the refinery, you want to sell our assets before you leave to go. But you are no different. This man from Guyana, that did poison out all them black people. And what's his name again?
Jim Jones. Jim Jones.
Jim Jones. Yeah. Jim Jones wasn't no black man. Jim Jones wasn't no black man. But he was a kind of Indian white Syrian man. But he had black leaders. Black people following him. It just looked just like the PNM with Stuart Young. It looked just like the PNM with Stuart Young as Prime Minister and leader of the PNM. When he stand up on that platform, he looked like Jim Jones with 91.9% of black people supporting him. Black people, my brothers and sisters out there, all think positive and don't be negative. Eh? Be cool, calm, and collective, and support your brothers. Support your brothers and sisters. Success in life. It have no success to come from the People's National Movement, and it's going to be 10 times worse. Wall Street, in 2016, you hear me saying, I can predict what will happen. The country will go down further, 10 times worse on that Stuart Young. Mark my word, what I'm telling you. Thank you, Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, man. Bless.
No more rain. No more rain. No more rain. No more rain. No left foot, right foot again. No more struggle, no more strain, no more pain. We want to see we way. We want a brighter day. No more Rowley again. Bye bye Rowley. Bye bye. Bye bye Rowley. Bye bye. We're not watching for you. We tired of the bloodshed, tired of the taxes, tired of the potholes and all the excuses. Tired of no water, tired of stretching at the law, tired of the high grocery bills. No left foot, right foot again. No more struggle, no more strain, no more pain. We want to see we way, we want a brighter day. No more Rowley again. Bye bye Rowley, bye bye. Bye bye Rowley, bye bye. We're not voting for you. We're tired of the bloodshed, tired of the taxes, tired of the potholes and all the excuses. Tired of no water, tired of stretching a dollar, tired of the high grocery bills. No left foot, right foot again. No more struggle, no more strain, no more pain. We want to see we way, we want a brighter day. No more Rowley again. Bye bye Rowley, bye bye. Bye bye Rowley, bye bye. We're not voting for you. No more rain. No more rain. No more rain. No more rain. No left foot, right foot again. No more struggle, no more strain, no more pain. We want to see we way, we want a brighter day. No more Rowley again. Bye bye Rowley, bye bye. Bye bye Rowley, bye bye. We're not voting for you. Bye bye Rowley, bye bye. Bye bye Rowley, bye bye. We're not voting for you.
A big one. Oh, yeah, that's the cover. So that is a gun. Listen to me. Hear me now. I'm frightened to live. Who are you? I'm frightened to live. Now, only thing. I'm frightened to live. Sing. I'm frightened to live. I'm frightened to live. I'm frightened to live. One more time. I'm frightened to live. Sing. I'm frightened to live. I build me a coffin. I make it my home. Because that is my only choice. This kind of life, I leave it alone. Because when I look around and I see man raping their own daughters mercilessly, man living with man, woman with woman. So how must I live? I can't understand. Look, I'm frightened to live. Who are you? I'm frightened to live. I'm frightened to live. Sing. I'm frightened to live. A bandit in my face with a gun. Take my own and began to run. I'm in the station reporting what the bandit do. I was the same bandit I was reporting to. Look, I'm frightened to live. I'm frightened to live. I'm frightened to live. Sing. I'm frightened to live. Come again, let me hear. I'm frightened to live. Why you? I'm frightened to live. One more time, come again. I'm frightened to live. Hey, I'm frightened to live. Hear me now. It is so obnoxious when I look around. Things I just hear and see. My God, how could I go on? Children killing children every day. Parents guiding their children to go astray. Tell me how those youths getting all those guns, and where in the world those guns coming from? You see, I'm frightened to live. Where you? I'm frightened to live. You come again. I'm frightened to live. Sing. I'm frightened to live. Hear this. If in my ceiling they find coke and gun, it's my whole family they carrying down. But if the police get caught with the same refrain, all they're getting is transfer to crime again. You see, I'm frightened to live. Hey, I'm frightened to live. Sing. I hear no lyrics. I'm frightened to live. I'm frightened to live. Come again, let me hear. I'm frightened to live. Sing. I'm frightened to live. Music. Now you see this verse? This verse is my verse. I want to listen to my verse. My verse. Hey. If our child could die by the hands of a bandit, police may halfway search, they may never catch the culprit. But if Mr. Big Man child end up dead, they go in to paint the old damn tongue red, putting out all force and energy, finding the killer immediately. So how must I live? Well, you, I'm frightened to live. Come again, I'm frightened to live. Hey, hear this, I told the church, that's the answer. Listening to the priest preach on the altar, while taking in the words of the Almighty. You know the priest pelting sweet at me, is the I'm frightened to live. I'm frightened to live.
And of course, we are back with you. It's Sunday Talk, Let's Talk Politics with Uncle Tommy, Professor Warshit, and you. And that is all going on, you know. People feeling the pain in Trinidad and they're frightened to live.
Absolutely.
Simple. Yeah, they're feeling the pain and they're frightened to live. They're frightened. They're frightened. Anyway, let's bring in our guest. A young man from far and wide, from all the way up there, also as to put it, up there far and wide. No other than the young man, Dr. Wayne, the Watchman Hayde.
On the motherland.
Yeah. Where you are, you're not frightened to live. You ain't frightened.
Not at all.
Turn up your volume a little bit.
Okay, let me see if we get the volume up. Maybe I should just talk louder. Are you hearing me?
All right. I get a little volume too. So
okay, cool.
So hey, Dr. Hayde, the song you had told me, was it We or Them or We the People? Which one you are telling me about? The song?
No, it's We to Blame.
Or We to Blame. Oh, We to Blame. Let me see. We to Blame. All right. I want to play that before you
So how have you been? Happy New Year to you.
Same to you, gentlemen. Happy New Year. All the best. I know it's cold by you. It's warm by me.
What's the temperature like you're in Uganda, right?
Yeah.
What's the temperature like there?
It's hot.
What is hot? I mean, 100 degrees?
No.
80, 90?
It may be 80, yeah.
What is the lowest the temperatures get there?
I don't know. Maybe 22?
Celsius, that is.
Celsius, you know, we in Fahrenheit.
Yeah. It's not it don't get too cold and don't get too hot. But here people, since they don't know better, they would complain. Where I would walk outside with a thin shirt or something, they will put on a sweater.
A sweater?
Yeah, because they think it's cold, and I laugh, because nothing. And then
we supposed to have a cold spell coming around here with the temperature going to be in the single digit, single digit.
Yeah.
You know, today I was outside. I did that 3 miles. It was only about 30-something degrees. It wasn't that cold.
Okay.
Can you imagine? I'm from Trinidad and I'm saying 30-something degrees is not that cold, eh?
Yeah.
You know, but it's a big difference between 30-something and like 10 degrees or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but hey, by the way, how you getting named the Watchman?
Oh, actually, what happened is that when I decided I wanted to sing Calypso, I wanted to create a name for myself. So there was the independence competition coming up, and I intended to go on and apply, do the audition and that. So I sat at home and I was thinking up names, and I came up with names like Rebel Wayne. That was one name I came up with. Then Chronicle, and I was thinking what really those two names. But at the same time, the TV was on and there was Gael and Rash or T.I. and the family circle they were singing on Gael, and it was a song about the watchman on the walls of Jerusalem. And it struck me like a bolt of lightning, hey, the watchman. Because the watchman is supposed to look out for people and tell them when things are going wrong, and also, look out for the bad things that are happening in society. So I just put the watchman on the form, and I went to the competition the weekend, and I put it on the form, and it was scary. I could tell you, it was the first time I was singing, outside of UWI. I sang in UWI for the first time, and when I went on stage and I started to sing, one of the judges, Dr. Fido Blake, he just jumped up in the air, and put his two hands up in the air when I was singing, and people from outside started coming in, other Calypsonians, to hear what I was singing, and it was called Boots and Brains. And after I was finished, and I went backstage, Peter Ray Blood, came up to me and he said, ask me questions about myself. And I told him what I was in UWI and so on, and policeman and all of that. And the next day in the newspaper, I think it was The Sun at the time, there was an article, hold on to your crown, Crocro, the watchman coming strong. Because Crocro was the defending monarch. And that year, Crocro decided not to defend, and I made it all the way to the finals and I won. So that's how they named the Watchmans.
Yeah, that, I mean,
I see about the screen, the winner glory.
I think when I was setting up the email, they give me some alternate names, and I just did not change it. I wanted to change it, and I just didn't do it, so it remained like that. So I said, fine, it's yeah. I want to be a winner, and I want to glorify the Almighty. You understand? So
very positive, very positive.
So I just kept it like that.
Right. So somebody said, Volsang said, and aside, we are again living the days of your song in the 19s. Boy, hush your mouth and don't say a thing. What says you?
Well, that was a different time, and basically, it was after the coup, and I was saying things that people might have been a little difficult for those in power to hear and accept. So my calypsos seem to come to go back and come forward whenever the mood meets the society, because I sing more political and social commentary in a more way that touches the society. I try not to be too general, but to be very specific. Now, it means that sometimes it's difficult for people outside of Trinidad or outside the Caribbean to always grasp what happened or what is happening. But for people in the country, they could always look back and see what it was and what it is now. And I would say, is we to blame? Is a Calypso that reflects the trauma that the society was going through. This thing about rising crime and rising corruption, rising criminality, rising political upheaval, and so on, it didn't start yesterday. It has been growing, and I had my own thesis, which I attempted to put into the Calypsos, including hush your mouth and don't say a thing, attack with full force. That from the 1990 coup and the lack of consequences for those who were engaged in that coup set the society down a path of no return, because now nobody feels that there are consequences. And that's why I said in the song, I went all the way back to the 1970, and I said, if in 70 we did blow away Rafik Shah, we'd never hear a boo from any backer. Even though Rafik Shah, and I over the years, I've come to admire his writing and his conviction and so on. But if I'm a policeman looking at it, if you attempt to do anything like that, then at that moment in time, you become my enemy, because I'm the police. And that is it. But in 1990, that was different, because they went and they killed innocent people. And some members of parliament, it is alleged on good grounds, helped to sneak copies of the amnesty out of parliament, presumably in their underwear, because they were not searched, that allowed Abu Bakr and his not so merry men to escape justice. Because I think the intention was of the state to use an amnesty to relieve the situation, and then give with one hand and take back with two, like what Mr. Pandis used to say. But in the end, it became the tool that they used to escape justice. I'm sorry, had I been involved in any way, power way, there would have been accidents, particularly to the ringleaders. That's my honest opinion.
What do you mean by accident?
Well, I would not gone into the parliament not shooting. Since the prime minister was already shot, police officers were already shot, there would have been no quarter given, none asked.
You would have listened to what the prime minister said, attack with full force.
Yes.
Now, talking about prime minister, today we have a situation where the prime minister is basically calling the police cowards.
Oh, yes. That was let me say this first. The prime minister, I do not believe that he is telling a lie. I believe strongly, and from the anecdotal evidence I myself received from other persons, including trusted police officers and former police officers, that sometimes police officers in certain station districts or certain stations would in fact close the door, take off the light, and go to sleep. But this has a history. In the old days, under the standing orders, stations were classified into A, B, and C, with C being the lowest grade of station, and those stations tended to close in the night because sometimes they had skeleton staff and they were out in Citrus and, fine in Maracas and those kind of places, those outpost stations. They never changed the regulation. They never changed that standing order. They never removed it from consideration. Even though we have reached a stage where every police station, every police post should in effect be operating 24 hours a day, given the increase in population, the increase in criminality, and the need for members of the population to get an opportunity to interact with the police, especially at night when things tend to happen. Even going to the station for an emergency that is not related to a crime, like somebody taking sick or something like that. And it has happened. There's no doubt about that. The Prime Minister didn't see it himself, but I'm sure he was told. But the reason had nothing to do with cowardice. The reason had to do with lack of discipline, slackness, malingering, and failure of senior officers in the job to properly supervise and monitor the men and women in their divisions and branches and sections. That is what goes wrong like that. Unless the Prime Minister could provide exact evidence that people were in effect shutting the station because they were afraid of the criminals, to me it doesn't make sense, because once you do that, then it means that you're telling the criminals that they can walk in and take what they want.
You embolden them.
Yes, and I believed, and I said it, that in a voice note, that the Prime Minister, in my opinion, was reckless and irresponsible, not to criticize the police for doing something wrong, but to do it in that manner and in the Parliament at that time.
But Dr. Hayde,
Yes.
were you surprised that the Prime Minister was reckless and irresponsible? This is not the first time Prime Minister really have been reckless and irresponsible. This is par for the course, as you say in golf. It's par for the course.
Well, I don't want to engage in characterizing all of his behaviors or actions or attitudes, because I don't know enough of it to make that determination.
No, but
what I can say
Dr. Hayde,
in this one.
But Dr.
Yeah.
Hayde, there have been many other instances where the Prime Minister have been very reckless. And as a Prime Minister, you have to be very impeccable with your words.
Well, we say so, but I've seen Prime Ministers and presidents and I've been a fair number of places in the world who have done, in my opinion, and said things that are even more reckless and irresponsible than that. And I can quote your former president and soon president from tomorrow as falling within that vein. So
category.
human beings are like that, and not everybody is the same, and you can't dictate how people will act under pressure or when put in certain circumstances. I try to keep away from the general politics. You guys have been discussing the politics and the economics for a long time, and you are more in tune to that than me. I try to stick to the security and law enforcement aspects as it linked legally and operationally, because I believe that is where my strength lies. And the Prime Minister, it was unnecessary for him to say that, because everyone knew that the SOE would have been extended unanimously. There was no way the opposition was going to vote against it. So what was the purpose of saying it? That the policemen are hiding from the criminals, in effect calling them cowards. When that in itself, the impact of that could be to reduce morale generally, because having not identified who it is you're talking about specifically, then everybody gets started with the same brush. And that's something I've seen a lot, even in Calypso singing. That's why I like when I'm singing to point my fingers directly at who I'm aiming at, so that everybody else around them wouldn't get, muddied with the same water. And that is something I felt strongly the Prime Minister should not have done. So this is not a question of whether what he was saying is the truth. There are civilians out there and police officers who know that there have been instances where it has happened. And if you listen to the police association's explanation, it seems to lend credence to what the Prime Minister was saying. Because they were given, in my opinion, were excuses to justify why a station might be closed. Well, we have air conditions, so we have to keep the doors closed. Well, we have glass doors with a one-way tint that in the night people could stay from outside and see inside, and we can't see inside, so we have to take off the light. Well, there are bushes around the station that we didn't get cut, and that might cause somebody to conceal themselves in there to provide us, to create some harm to us. All these are things that are risks that you undertake as a police officer. And every station I know ought to have station sentries, station compounds. Every station ought to have cameras and monitors so that you could stay from outside and see inside. And if it was necessary, for people not to see inside the station, there are measures that you can take to prevent that. But what people would see when they're approaching a station is that it looks locked. It looks, even though they would argue, no, the doors are not locked, the doors are open, but only police will be brave enough, or maybe reporters, to go up and pull the door in the night. Members of the public may feel that it's closed and they wouldn't go. And that is something that we must address in the police service.
Now, in your opinion, right, based on the last 3 years with the highest amount of murders in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, do you believe that the government and the TTPS and all those in control is doing enough to stem the runaway murders that we have in Trinidad and Tobago?
Obviously not. But why limit it to the last 3 years?
No, 10 years. I said 10 years. 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah,
well,
a decade.
It's going back beyond that. There has been a steady rise in murders, and in particular, gun-related crimes. So let's not get carried away here. It is guns. 90% of the people being killed are being killed by guns. So
guns don't shoot themselves. Guns don't shoot themselves. Someone has to use it.
Yeah, and even in cases where they do shoot themselves, it is because they have a gun. Right? And accidents could happen. You remember a commissioner of prisons shot himself in the leg whilst carrying two firearms on his person. That was an accident, but surely, again, the presence of a firearm caused that.
Do you believe?
Yeah.
Do you believe that it's time to arm the citizenry of Trinidad and Tobago in order to even up the field?
That will be stupid, reckless, and irresponsible, because most people in the society would not even know what to do with a firearm, and no amount of 1 week or 2 week training is going to bring about that. What will happen is that more husbands will shoot wives, more wives will shoot husbands, more children will shoot each other in accidents like what happened recently. More guns will be stolen by the criminals because they will target those homes where they know people have guns, because people with firearms like to show off. Businessmen, you see businessmen get, those who got 25 and 30 firearms, what they do? They get gold-plated guns and they get fancy guns because they want to show off to their friends, which makes them an easy target. No. And Trinidad and Tobago is not the United States of America. And even in America, they're trying to reduce guns and not to arm every citizen, or even the more law-abiding ones. And I would trust the American system in terms of holding persons accountable and preventing them from getting firearms that I would do in the Trinidad system. Because a lot of criminals and a lot of people who should not have firearms are getting firearms, and no action is taken to address it. For example, the law says that if somebody is charged or convicted of domestic violence, a person like that should not be holding a firearm. And if they are holding a firearm and they get charged or convicted, as commissioner of police, if I'm in a position, I would remove their firearms until the matter has been resolved because of the risk involved. And the same applies to someone who is charged for rape. How could you have someone who is charged for rape and the victim is alive and in the public domain, and you're giving that person a gun? Suppose the case starts to turn against that person when the case is called in court and evidence is going. Don't you see what we are caught in danger? And there are many people in society who should not have firearms, including police officers. Let me tell you something. When we started in the early 90s asking, when I was president of the Social and Welfare Association, we were the ones asking that police officers who are off duty be armed and be given FULs so that when they go home, if they have to protect themselves because there are criminals making threats to them outside, and when they leave the station, they have to leave their firearms, or if something happens, they could respond. We started recommending that. But what we said as well, and we told the commissioner this, in writing, that those who should not get, for those who have drug, alcohol, domestic violence, other crimes that they are charged with, on suspension for certain kinds of crimes, should not be granted firearms. And therefore, you could do assessments of people in making a determination whether they should receive a firearm. So we are not even advocating, we were not advocating that all police officers be armed, even though in effect, it might serve the society better. But since we have to recognize that the discipline in the service has fallen to such an extent that we have some bandits walking around in police uniform, and sometimes we know who they are, we just can't convict them, then we have to be careful who we going to give firearms to, because there have been allegations and evidence in the past where police officers in a particular station and in more than one instance were renting firearms to the criminals who would use it to carry out certain illegal activities and then return it. These things can happen because we're talking about human beings, and not all policemen and women are honest and law-abiding citizens. And we have failed to take steps to weed them out of the service, even when we know that they have done things that should not be around for much longer. If I could give you just a simple example. We had two recent incidents where you see someone, reportedly a police officer, at his home, abusing, insulting, even using obscene language to police officers who come to his home in pursuance of an investigation for which he was subsequently charged.
Right, I saw that.
That person is a special reserve police officer. But the way, because everybody identify everybody as police, which is wrong, we have not have that demarcation between TTPS, estate police, city police, and SRPs. And we have, I think part of it is to take government has to take the blame for it, not only this government, but previous government as well. Rather than increase the strength of the service up to what the optimal strength should be, they went through a process where they started, basically you could call it deputizing or transferring SRPs into the regular service without additional training, without additional screening, to show that the strength has increased. But the strength might have increased, but not necessarily the quality. And then people, in the old days, people used to have on their lapels, they used to have a mark which tell you whether they're TTPS or SRP or city police. They started taking it off and walking around with uniforms that you know. I'm looking on something here, and somebody is saying that they want to totally disagree with me because when I say crime has been on a steady rise. That's misinformation. That person is misinformed and not following statistics. And what they're looking at, and I could tell you already when I see those comments, is someone who trying to take the benefit of the COVID years. So there was a decrease under one commissioner, a decrease during a worldwide pandemic. It is as if this commissioner, during the SOE, will get the benefit to say that the murder rate decreased, and it was because of her leadership or the police action. No, there's a state of emergency, so things are locked down.
But Dr. Hayde,
yeah,
I have the numbers here for crime from, well, I mean, I could go back from 2010 to 2023, right?
So you're only going from 2010, not before.
Yeah, I only have but I have those statistics on my phone, not on my phone, on my laptop, with regards to prior. Okay,
and with regards to what?
Prior 2010. But if you are saying that crime been on the rise, and you actually look at the numbers, you will see there are certain periods where crime really wasn't on the rise.
No, wait. When we talk about crime being on the rise, we tend to identify serious crime, those involving death or destruction, murders and so on. Not certain categories of crime, which I know from the 90s, when I was president of the association. We will get the statistics every year and see some crimes will fluctuate. It will go like this, like car theft will do like this one year, and then that by another year, then it might come back up here. There are some fluctuations in some categories of crime. It always happens. But when it comes to gun-related crimes, can you tell me if your statistics show you that there's been a decline? There was a decline once when under one commissioner, it was very high.
But
that was 1 year when it went up particularly high to over 500. You remember that?
Yes, but Dr. Hayde, let's be honest.
Right.
Let's be honest. Mm-hmm. Most people in Trinidad and Tobago will look at murders. Yes, there are other things, but they are more interested. Let's take this call. I have a question for you. Hold on. Caller, do you have a question for Dr. Hayde? Caller, do you have a question for Dr. Hayde? Yeah, do you have a question for Dr. Hayde?
Someone would just send the message. Yeah. I disagree with you totally. Right? And you cannot stay there and say what you think I'm talking about. No, I'm not talking about between COVID. I'm talking about, I have the numbers also on my phone, that even going back to Patrick Manning days, crime fluctuates, especially murders, under a certain government. And I have the numbers to show. I'm not just talking out of my, because I feel to talk on a program.
Well, please give the numbers. Please give the numbers.
All right. Go.
What's that?
He said, please give the numbers.
Please give the numbers and the years and the government. That will help to not just say you have the numbers. Let's hear the numbers.
Hold on. You're asking for something. I'm going to respond to you. Hold on.
Right.
One second, Wall Street.
Yeah.
But I'm hardly hearing him. I'm hearing Wall Street louder than him.
Yes, because I'm far away. Sorry. I will speak louder.
1 second. I'm pulling it up here on my phone.
You're right. Thank you, sir.
I'm going back from before 2010.
Yes.
One second, it's almost there. Loading. Right, we got it. Nice. I'm going back from 1994.
Okay, when I was in the service and I was president of the Police Service Social and Welfare Association.
I'm hearing you, but I'm going to read it out now, right?
Yeah.
1994, the murder toll was 143, right? 1995, the murder toll was 122. This is where it get interesting now with the steady increase what I'm disagreeing with you with. 1996, the government changed. And the murder toll went down to 106. 1997, 101. 1998, 98. 1999, 93. Is that a steady decline, sir? Let's go again. 2000, 118. Right? Listen now. The government changed back. From 118 to 151. From 151 to 171. 161 to 229. 229, 260. 260 to 386. 386 to 368. 368 to 395. Get us now. 2008.
A steady increase. Steady increase.
50. 2009, 509. 2010, between the change of government, it was half and half, 485. Listen again, the government changed. 2011, 354, going back down. 2012, 383. 2013, 408. 2014, 403. 2015, change of government again, 410, watch again. 2016, 463. 2017, 494. 2018, 523. 2019, 539. 2020, 396, that's COVID, we are just speaking about. 2021, 448. Let's go now again. 2022, 613. 2023, 577. Three breaking numbers, 620 something, where they put official, but we know it's 640 something. So you tell me, sir, how do you describe that as a steady increase?
All right.
I'll listen off.
Yeah, man. All right. So Dr. Hayde, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's go for a quick break. And when we come back, because Dr. Hayde, you come with the facts, Dr. Hayde. You come with the facts.
What facts? What they came with is, I'm not here attacking any particular government. I don't care who government.
I don't think.
And that's what I'm getting. That they're going right. I am telling you that over the years, as populations increase, as type of offenses increase by laws that you might pass, there is a steady increase. And I'm not looking at which government is in power. I am looking at overall figures to see that there is a steady increase. Because if you start talking about 1994 is 143,
hold a minute,
and then 2000. Yeah.
We gotta go for the break. So hold on a minute. Stay right there. Stay right there.
Okay,
No, folks.
All right.
It's
Cool.
it's Sunday Talk. Let's talk politics with Uncle Tommy, Professor Wall Street, Dr. Wayne Hayde, and you on WZYE 95.9 FM. Stick and stay, folks. We're gonna go for a quick break, and we're gonna be right back. And if you have questions for Dr. Hayde, you are free to call, and I'm sure he will take your questions and give you answers. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
My people, put your hands together. Let me bring on stage Wayne Hayde, better known as Watchman.
I'm an African, I'm a West Indian, I'm a Trinbagonian. Yes, all these things are true. But I'm a working man, a Calypsonian, I'm your fellow human. Yes, I am one of you. But every time I ask you to choose your people, you start using color and class one time. But as a man who know how it is to struggle, let me tell you how I choose mine. Like if a man could sell on the highway all day just to try and live honestly, and would break he back in a quarry for small pay. Anytime he wants, he can walk with me. But if you call yourself a top lawyer, but go to court and lie to try to save a drug pusher, if Dolce the money make you fat while your conscience grows small, you're a leech and you're not my people at all. Rise up, my people, let the world know you are alive. Let them see that despite all struggle, my people are bound to survive.
And of course, that is the man himself, the man in person here, boy. Dr. Wayne Hayde, my people. Dr. Hayde, my people. So, Dr. Hayde, continue with the question. I want to agree to Dr. Hayde that when you said consistent rise, I have the numbers.
Steady rise.
And I don't think the numbers bear out that statement. If it's consistent, means to say that over, let me say, a 5-year period, or even more than a 5-year period, it will happen consistently going up and never really going down.
Okay.
What says you?
You see, you can't do it in a year-by-year basis to determine whether there's a rise, a steady rise or a continued rise. What you have to do is look at, let's say, over a 10-year period. Let's look at the murder rate in the 80s, then look at the murder rate in the 90s, and then in the 2000s. And you would see that whereas, like if you're quoting the figures from 1996, you're not 1999, 1998, and so on, you're not seeing it go over 200. But then,
hold on. Go ahead, Dr. Hayde.
Yeah. Go ahead. So when you go on later on, you'll see it has risen.
Yes, it has, but it wasn't.
And I am saying, okay, let's not argue the classification, and because I am not here to talk about which government it was. I am looking.
No, we ain't talking
right.
about that. Let's talk about the numbers.
You see, right. That's what the gentleman said, that there was only a rise or it under a certain government.
Yes, but But Dr.
It
Hayde,
could fluctuate. Yeah.
and even though you said that, it is true though. It is absolutely true that when you look at the numbers and you look at the government in power, under certain government, crime goes up, and under another government, crime goes down. Based on the numbers, that is accurate. That's not what you are talking about.
When you say crime, you're talking about all crime?
Murders. Let me be specific. Murders.
Right.
Go up
Yeah.
under certain government, and it go down under certain government. The statistics tells you that. So that's not.
Let me put you on the spot now.
Okay.
Which governments are you talking about? Let's say, right? In recent memory, the governments that have been in power is the PNM,
yeah,
the UNC, COP. Well, called the People's Partnership.
Yeah.
Do we treat that as a separate type of government, or are you classifying that under the opposition, under UNC?
That's UNC. Because them are the majority.
Right, but some will might argue with you that you can't do that if it was a partnership. So you're just like you're writing off the contributions of others, good or bad.
But them are the majority. But Dr. Hayde, if you look at the last 15 years, with the murders, right, under the UNC, whether it's the partnership, however you want to call it, the partnership, the COP, the MSJ, crime went down. When the PNM come into power, well, not crime, murders. My bad, murders. Murders went up, and the numbers are there to show that. And I am not putting you to talk about that part of it. You strictly talking about the statistics. When we look at crime, right? Crime involves other things other than murders.
Yes.
Right? So that is what you are talking about. But when you talk to a Trinidadian, they are very specific with
about
respect to murders.
Yes.
Them don't want to hear about a man get robbed on a bicycle, or a man was running on Frederick Street and they catch him and they lock him up. Right? Or they want to talk about home invasion. But strictly, most Trinbagonians today want to speak about murders.
I agree.
Right? And
let's play a little game here. The number that was given in 2008 was 529. Gentlemen, kindly give that to us. And I'm not challenging any of his numbers, because you could go and research them on the internet.
Yeah.
The numbers might be off a little.
Yeah,
because
they're off a little bit.
Right. It might classify it differently later on.
Yeah.
Who was the government then?
2008?
Yes.
That was the PNM government.
Okay.
550. That was the highest back then, before we came to 2022, 2023, right? When you go back, right? 2024, 22, 23, and 24, before 2008, 550 was the highest amount of murders in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. That was under the PNM. And now, the first, second, and third, and fourth highest murders in the history of Trinidad and Tobago is all PNM. And the first, second, and third is all under Prime Minister Rowley. So that should tell you something. I mean, it just shows you that.
Wait, hold on. What it tells me is two things.
Dr. Wade, hold 1 minute. Yeah. Callers, hold the calls. Yeah, all right. Dr. Wade, hey, let's just take this quick question from this young lady.
Yes,
what is your question?
It's fine.
Go ahead. What is your question for Dr. Hayde? Go ahead.
I'm trying to tell you, do not have a quick question with me. I am listening to Dr. Hayde. Was talking to Wade. He was talking just now. You cut him off. You cannot cut him when they're speaking. Oh gosh. Anyway, they make me forget. But anyway, what you are saying, Wall Street, I have to agree with the caller. I think it's Mova Defender.
Yes.
Mova Defender.
Mm.
Right. Mova Defender, and with what he is saying. And where Hayde do not understand. You're jumping, you're moving the goalposts all over the place. Let me tell you something. See what that man said about the right, about it. At certain periods, the murders go up. At another period, it goes down. And you could look and see the period. And I find that is why are we arguing? That is a fact. That is a fact, and that's all we want to know, period, because I don't count properly. I'm not a mathematician, right? I mean, the caller who was dialoguing with the Watchman were making a good point, and Wall Street was also making a good point, and you're afraid to say it. You're afraid to say, in the PNM, murders are rampant. That's the fact, and the story go on to another topic.
Thank you.
We know that.
That's why I was asking that question
Caller,
directly.
Thank you. Go ahead, Dr. Hayde. Go ahead, Dr. Hayde. Dr. Hayde, go ahead.
Yes, I'm saying that's why I asked the question directly, because I could see people talk about a particular government, but they didn't want to say that they believe that there is an increase under the present government or that particular party as opposed to other parties. I am not looking at it like that. When I'm looking over time to see if there is an increase. For example,
Hold on. Go ahead, Dr. Hayde. Go ahead.
If your population is, let's say, 1 million, and then your population increased to 1.3 million, you would find that there would be an increase in certain kinds of crime.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Over the same specific period of times. And I'm not going and nitpicking at the numbers to see who it is. I'm saying we came from having murders of less than 100 in the 90s to murders over 600 in the 20s.
Let's take this call. Caller, you have a question for Dr. Hayde?
Good afternoon, Mr. Watchman, Uncle Tommy, and the Watchman there?
Yes, Watchman.
Yes, sir.
There was a man who was fighting Gary Griffith and saying a lot of things. What part of the world is right now, Mr. Watchman?
He's in Uganda.
Uganda? He carry a ball patch down there?
Ask the question. What question you have for him? Ask him a question.
I do have a caller holding.
Mr. Watchman, we should have cut in that he breaks it for the PNM. That PNM, so I looked on this.
All right. Look, I have a caller. Let's hear this caller's question.
Okay. All right, KFC. Go ahead. Caller, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, guys.
Yes.
I want to say I'm listening to you good gentlemen over there. And I want to say I'm happy to hear our good doctor try to say some things that are relevant to the issue of crime. I think a couple of things that he's missing and not touching into, and I want to first start by saying I'm in the US, so I would say I know he was saying earlier he was against giving people in the US a lot given the opportunity to have guns. I want to say that is not true. Under the Constitution here, the right to gun.
I never said that. I think there was a misunderstanding. Because I know
some in the US is not even giving guns to the citizens.
No. I was saying that even in the United States, where under the Second Amendment, you have the right to bear arms, they don't give firearms to everybody. And some states, as I know,
Under the Constitution and the Second Amendment, people are allowed to have guns, and it is much more. Guns. So to protect themselves against criminals, you have to give the guns to those people. If you dissecting the criminal activity and guns, you have to show cause and effect. So what is causing, who's being affected by the guns, by criminal killings or shootings or rape, murder or extortion or whatever, whoever is being targeted, they have to have protection under the law. They should be given due process to be protected. So I disagree with that first argument of yours. But I mean, to be honest with you, you elucidated very well. You're very good. But the other thing, some of the guys I can hear that they're fighting over the governments and the crime and gun and murder and all this stuff, and they're right, because you have to take into
caller. Can Mr. Dr. Hayde answer your question, please? Thank you.
And no, let me finish. And he will have a guy will come back and go back and forth.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Doctor,
I think there was. You had asked a question. Yes.
One minute. You have another caller. Caller, you have a question, Dr. Hayde?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I would like you to play first. Very good program. This is the second time I've looked on at this. I would like you to place some emphasis on other crimes. Example, kidnapping and home invasions. Senior citizens are now becoming paranoid. I am too. And they're wondering who next. People are now afraid to go out in their premises to water plants and attend to their gardens, etc. These crimes have increased under the present government.
Caller, where you calling us from? Where you calling us from?
Trinidad. Yes, in Trinidad.
Okay, thank you very much, caller.
I still have this caller here. Caller, you here?
Tommy, that's another caller?
All right.
Okay, Dr. Hayde, go ahead now. You could.
Okay.
You the first
Let's. You had asked the question whether all Trinidadian citizens should be armed, and I said that will be ridiculous,
right,
and senseless. And I pointed out that in the United States, where there's a right to bear arms under the Second Amendment, they don't give all citizens guns, and there are well-known exceptions in even liberal states like, let's say, Texas, you understand, as opposed to more restrictive states like, let's say, California, where they don't give firearms to anybody who asks, and they've been trying to restrict it even more and more. So in Trinidad, it cannot work because, number one, we don't have that, and number two, the nature of our population doesn't allow people to be even trained. They don't have exposure to the military and to National Guards and to forest parks, police, and all the kind of things that you have in the United States, where you can be sure that the population understand the right to bear arms. And that's the point I was making. So I think he misunderstood when I was saying that. Now, the lady just made a point which I was trying to emphasize, and I could see where the other gentleman was coming from, and where you also coming from with respect to successive governments, or whether crime has increased under certain governments. I tend not to look at it like that. I was looking at crimes generally and the reasons for the increase over the years, and there are different reasons for it. My argument is very simple, that there has been an increase, a steady increase in gun-related crimes over the years, more and more so. And so piggyback on what the lady asked about kidnapping and home invasions, well, now they're using the language of home invasion. We call it housebreaking and larceny, housebreaking with intent, and so on, or burglary, if you're breaking into a house by night and committing an indictable offense or therein. We have those crimes on the books, but now we call them home invasions because we're borrowing the language that we see in other countries. And yes, there was a time when kidnapping had increased, and it wasn't a steady increase, was a consistent increase. And then it went down after, I would argue, some spectacular action by the police. But it is starting to climb up again. And you're having other crimes that was very low in the old days, like extortion, that is now increasing. And what we call home invasions, yes, attacking people in their houses, that has been steadily increasing. My argument, and all the time, consistently has been that all of these things have one thing in common: the presence of firearms. Because when you interview the victims, when you interview the witnesses, the one thing that is in common, that the persons who committing these crimes, one or more, is generally armed. Now,
let's take this call. Doctor, let's take this call. Caller, you have a question for Dr. Hayde?
Yeah, well, she present good day to you, Uncle Tony, and the ex-watchman. Worship never going on. I feel about to raise the volume and watch my head because you sounding very soft coming through on your side. So I gotta make some adjustment for people to hear him properly.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, sir.
Worship, I feel you got to transmit that for this message to you. So what Watchman is saying that he looking at the numbers in terms of the murders per capita in Trinidad and Tobago, right, Worship?
I think he heard that. You heard that, right? Did you hear that? Dr. Hayde, did you hear him?
That I'm looking at the murders
per capita.
Per capita, too, which is another category that they use. No, I wasn't looking at it in per capita, but you can use that as well if you wish.
Okay. All right. You
goes up and goes down too.
Yeah.
Right? Listen to one sheet.
Yeah.
Me into a brag, but this is why I'm trying to understand. The figures were mobile defender give out in terms of the figures or the numbers.
The murders.
Murders in different countries, right?
Not different country, Trinidad.
No, that was just Trinidad. That was just Trinidad. That was just Trinidad.
The point I'm trying to make here was shit.
Okay.
Why I'm trying to understand. If when the PNM in power, more people have been born for the crime to grow up, and when the UNC take over, less people being born, so you're having a drop in the murder. That's why I'm trying to gather here, you know? Because everybody who has common sense will see where there's a shift in the government, the number tells a different story. So I want to know when other government besides the PNM come in, less people that's born at that time for the murder to go down, than more people being born and need the PNM for the crime to go. That is my question I want to find.
All right.
Doctor, I listen.
Okay.
Very interesting point he's making here, and he's challenging the premise that you're using, because when they talking about murder rates going up and coming down, they also have to take into consideration the population, and at particular times. That's why I don't want to argue on those strict numbers. I am saying that there are certain crimes where over the decades there has been a steady increase, and you look at it, you see it's 100 then it goes to 200, it goes to 300, 400, 500. And then when you look at the population, you may find that the population might have moved only from 1.2 million to 1.4 million. You have to ask yourself, then, isn't there a steady increase? Now, there are some crimes like, let's say, shoplifting or theft from motor vehicles and so on, could also increase because more people get motor cars. And then they could also be related to an increase in poverty levels where people engage in more petty and opportunistic crimes. If we go to, you need two more men with doctors who have done research in this field to even talk about those kind of statistics and how you pass it. My concern is that I'm saying that the murder rate and I'm not looking at governments. I have lots of friends in both parties, lots of friends, and I don't have these discussions with them in that way because I will speak my mind and talk about what are these possible solutions. I don't care if tomorrow morning there's a change in government and what is happening now continues to happen or gets worse. I will be saying the same things because I believe that our society needs the parties to come together to make some changes. And if they don't do that, the problem is going to escalate. They only argue with each other and say, it goes up with you. And we bring it. If you're not part of the problem, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And when they get there and the reality hits, when reality bites, then they start saying something else or pretend that they did not say that.
Let's take this next call. Take this next call. Caller, what's your question for Dr. Hayde?
Hey, good evening, Mr. Hanson. Good evening, Mr. Tommy. Good evening, Mr. Watchman. So,
Good evening,
Mr. Watchman, I understand in your argument what you're saying. But let's look at the detection rate and the conviction rate. They say we evolve, right? You say that the population increases. So do technology. Do you think we fit in Trinidad and Tobago to handle crime? Because we sit down here and we look at the statistics and we know that when crime goes up, what are they doing about it? Let's look at the figure for national security for the past 25 years. How much billions of dollars? Maybe ending up to the trillions. And what do we have? To buy cameras in Trinidad is a kickback. To buy body cams in Trinidad is a kickback. There's always a third party and a fourth party you had to go through. And nothing could be done with transparency and accountability. And then on the top, we have a prime minister right now that you ask him serious questions, he talks to you like he's a peasant. Go on from here, you peasant. I don't want to hear that. Then how we could have a society that is living as human beings? That is my question.
Thank you. Go ahead, Dr. Hayde.
He made some very, very valid points, and which is we haven't discussed yet. That whilst the crime rate is going up steadily in my argument, the detection rate for the more serious crimes has either remained static or in some cases going down, and that, to me, that's not a reflection of just a government, whoever the government is. We have to look at those who are entrusted with the task of raising or ensuring that criminals meet some level of accountability. And I would argue, this doesn't just incriminate the police service, it incriminates the judiciary as well, and it incriminates the parliamentarians who do not seem to want to do anything to make it easier to convict known criminals under the excuse that, oh, the police might do something. No evidence. They might have one case to break, and they will use that to say, don't take any action, don't pass any law, don't do anything that will make it easier to put criminals behind bars and keep them there. You see people get arrested, they're out on bail already. They're already out on bail. And whilst we are suffering as a people, and I include myself, even though I'm not physically present, the criminals are rejoicing. They're in England. They could go to Dubai and shop, and nobody touches them because they seem to be community leaders that they that protect constituencies that are in control of different people at different times. It's nonsensical. And I am just looking at it. This whole discussion to me is about what can we do to address the present murder and serious crime rate. And we have to include what you call home invasions, kidnapping, extortion, rape, assaults, those kinds of things. And I am saying the problem in the country is guns. Now, there is an additional problem, as the gentleman just explained, with the failure of the police to increase the detection rate and the conviction rate. Well, the conviction rate doesn't rely on them alone. It relies on the magistrates and judges to hear and do something impartially. Sometimes I believe that they're always looking very closely at the police. And I sang about that in my song in Is We to Blame in 1995, when I called the name of the lawyers and said they're much closer to the criminals than to we. That is what we have to address in terms of how we deal with this. Now, I am not going to go into any discussion about who is a better leader and who will be a better leader. Now, the gentleman made a comment. One gentleman made a comment that I am the man who attacking Gary Griffith. No. Just like I would do with anybody else, if you make a statement which is wrong, or I believe is improper and not in keeping with the evidence, I would say it. And I have had initially good relationships with Gary Griffith, and someone I knew a long time ago when we used to play hockey against the Army. So there's no enmity on my part, but I would not take anybody trying to embarrass me or insult me. My tongue sharp, and I could cut very, very hard. If we want a discussion about the issues, we can. But if I feel you're trying to berate me, browbeat me, or belittle me in any way, then Wayne Hayde moves aside and the Watchman takes over. All right. Let's be clear.
So, Dr. Hayde,
yeah.
Dr. Hayde, someone says, do you think the addition of the PSB, I don't know who's PSB, I know the PCA, etc., heard the service response?
Yes, the PSB is Professional Standards Bureau.
Okay,
and that's an interesting question. I would say no, in that you need to have entities that provide checks and balances to the actions and activities of the police service. And if you do your job the correct way, any investigation will clear you. There is a tendency for us in the police not to understand that we can be firm but fair. And we don't have to worry about if somebody is holding a camera or a recording device. If I tell you, move away, and if you step forward here and obstruct me, I will arrest you. I will say that clearly, and no PSB or PCA will find something wrong or ought to find something wrong with my actions. But the PCA is outside of the police service, and they are, in my opinion, impotent in addressing some things that are internal, because they're still on the outside looking in. The Police Professional Standards Bureau is too close to the action and too close to the activities to provide a proper buffer. There needs to be something else, some other entity that has the power to get the evidence, information, and to take action against police officers, not for criminal offenses. That's the purview of the DPP, but in terms of disciplinary offenses. Let me give a simple example. The case we are talking about the gentleman who I heard on recording using obscene language. Do we need to charge that person for obscene language and spend 5 years in a criminal court trying to convict? If the person has been accused of other crimes, let's say robbery, which has been I heard one of the allegations, then we can pursue that aspect of the evidence in a criminal court. But the obscene language should be tried departmentally, quickly. And if it's determined that the person's action is likely to bring the service into disrepute, you dismiss that person. So that by the time the criminal case comes around, they're no longer police. What are we doing? The reason why no action is being taken to address it in the service, because it's himself to himself. Look, I'm not casting aspersions here, just giving facts. The head of the PSB was alleged and charged for a traffic offense, okay, whilst still in the service. That to me is there's not enough space between the PSB and that particular officer for people to feel that it is fair and fairly done, no matter what the outcome is. If the outcome is the person is cleared, they'll say it because police for police. If the outcome was that the person is not is convicted or charged or disciplined somehow, it was done to prevent them from getting promotions that they were going through the process at the time with some of the other people who they're also competing with. So therefore, it will not work. And then when people come in, they can transfer people from the PSB into other sections in order to get them away from taking action against certain people. Because in the service, and by extension in the society, kinship, friendship, and relationships have destroyed all efforts to create accountability and address corruption. And by kinship, I mean that people bring in their brother, their sister, their auntie, their uncle, and all of them in the work and talk to each other, and they protect each other at different levels. And then friendships, people who are batchmates, people who are friends from school, people who are friends in the service or working in the same sections, and then they get promoted and they go here and there. They protect each other as well. And then, of course, relationships where people bring in their wife, their husband, their concubines, their girlfriends and boyfriends and significant others, all of whom makes it impossible for the superintendents to take any action because they don't know who knows who, or they know who knows who, and they will not touch these people.
Let's take this question. Let's take this quick question. Caller, what's your question for Dr. Hayde?
Yeah, I'm going to go again. with Mr. Watchman, I disagree with you say with the Bruno family. But let me ask you a question. You know, I didn't address this.
Yes, sir.
Is a business in Trinidad. Who makes the most money in crime in Trinidad? They have a security company charging millions and millions of dollars for transporting when we could have been doing virtual court. The lawyers make a whole lot of money. You can see how much of them silk and all these lawyers make, right? And then there's a lot of on ports and all that passing money and things passing easily. You see, we're not addressing, we're trying to blame the police officers for bringing in the daughter and the son and that. No, this that higher up. If you check the money, which government was in most in power was PNM. Many years. How much billions of dollars they spend on national security? And when we had to see fit, nothing. No equipment. When you have to do ballistics on a bullet, you have to send it abroad. When you have to do an autopsy, how much pathologists we have in Trinidad? 1, 2? Come on. We have to deal with the serious issue. PNM is the problem, and you need to see it because you know why? Because all young generation seeing it now. Look on this.
Thank you.
I could tell a police when they're talking. Experience. That was a police officer.
You sure about that?
I'm sure.
Listen to this. There's a question here. It says a person says, "Do you think union also plays a negative role?"
When they say you mean the police association?
I
have to assume that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't. Maybe I think they're talking about, since they're talking about the PSB and the PCA. I think they're talking about the union. Let's say the association. They're supposed to play a positive role and a balancing role and a role that provides the police officers with protection, whilst at the same time not encouraging and supporting nonsense in the job. The problem, I think, is that when the leadership of the association are also competing for commissioner and deputy commissioner jobs, you may find a situation where they don't want to rock the boat and therefore get involved in things that are not, in my opinion, are not proper or not take appropriate action. We've had more than one case, but we had a recent case of a person who was applied for commissioner of police, didn't get the job, and next thing ended up in parliament, and who was the head of the association. I'm not telling tales of.
Who was that? Who was that?
Come on, if you if you don't know, then in the wrong position. I know you know.
No, we don't want to guess. Doctor, you
know.
All right, okay.
Tell the people.
All right, okay. all right.
But the gentleman made some valid points. I know he wouldn't agree with the family. I'm not saying you can't bring your family in the work, or your girlfriend or your boyfriend and so on. I don't say that they shouldn't be in the job with you, because where the cow is tied, as they say, is there it will graze. So you'll find that policemen and policewomen will tend to be more involved with each other than with other types of persons because of close proximity. But it's when it interferes with the possibility of enforcing discipline, that is where I have a problem, and I'm seeing it, because they're not charging anybody. No matter what they do, they're not taking action because everybody have something to hide. But yes, there is a good point that in my song, My People, that you played, part of that song was talking about lawyers. If you call yourself a top lawyer and go to court and lie to try to save a drug pusher, lawyers get rich, not off of the police, but offer the defendants and those others. And therefore, they sometimes, I think, and as a lawyer myself, I think that they forget that they have a duty as well to protect the society. And I think sometimes they go too far to try to protect the criminals. But the person was making the point that there are those who benefit from the business of crime, because crime is a business. Those who get money for transporting prisoners, and yes, maybe we should move away from, if you don't want policemen to come in court with their firearms, then let's try all cases virtually, if that's the case. And at the same time, you want protection now, because 2 or 3 attorneys were killed recently. Now everybody is scared, but they don't want the policemen to come in court with their guns. But there's a flip side to that. What people didn't know, that there are policemen coming to court where it is alleged they charge for domestic violence, or they're coming for domestic violence or types of offenses, but they're still armed with their firearms. That should not happen. They should not be able to even have a firearm to come into court with. And that in itself is an issue. So there's 2 sides of every story, not just to bash the judiciary, but understand that there could be underlying factors that cause this to happen. And yes, people have been making money from even from police uniforms. That hard, coarse, difficult material that they made force us to wear all them years, that cause scratching and damage to our skin, because somebody had a big contract and nobody would take any action to get rid of the contract over the years and bring some more pliable cotton type material for us to use to wear in the police service. And when I go to other countries, Australia and England and New Zealand and so on, I see the police wearing nice cotton similar to our uniforms, but they ain't scratching. They have to put starch in it for it to hold good and all them kind of nonsense. People do make money from the police and from crime, and they don't want any change in anything that will affect their bottom line. That's a fact.
Dr. Hayde, the body cam issue been one that's been coming up and hasn't been so favorable. And we see at this time that is going to be of utmost importance when it comes to keeping things on a level. What say you?
Yes, sir. And I heard there was a time when the commissioner said that people didn't want to wear them. You don't want to wear it? I charge you.
Yep.
I will look to get you out of the service. People don't understand that the body cameras can protect them from false allegations, right? Can help to their cases in terms of conviction. And if they're doing the job the right way, even if they have to shoot someone or hit them a couple batons or tase them, once they're doing and they understand their rights and authorities under the law, wearing a body cam wouldn't affect that. It's only, I think, that a lot of people, they don't even want cameras inside the stations. And I could tell you that cameras could go bad even in the charge room, or books could go bad because people don't want, when they do wrong things and they're not trying to do the right thing and something bad happens, you know. Look, I'm a long policeman, an old policeman. And you could be trying to do your job the best way possible and you could make a mistake. You could do something wrong. I am not I would want to say, let's crucify that police officer. There must be way of tempering justice with mercy and dealing with internal cases of wrongdoing. But not when people deliberately don't want any action to be taken because they want to protect themselves only. That is nonsensical, and a strong commissioner should take strong action.
Caller, what's your question? Caller, what's your question for Dr. Hayde? Caller?
I'm waiting till the man finish speaking.
Yes, you're on, caller. Caller, you're on. Caller, you're on.
Right?
Yes.
Gentlemen, who we fooling here? Who are we fooling here all this long talk? Crime is a business. And I'm just afraid to talk like with the Watchman has to grin and smile and afraid to talk. Let me tell you something. We know crime is a business. I don't know if it was what the Watchman say, who going to guard the guards? It was it what
No, that's King Austin. King Austin.
King Austin.
Who going to guard the guards? End of story. Who going to guard the guards? Why you all going around all that? And everybody like this, who are sleeping, they in dreamland or they're on the moon. Anyway, I know crime is a business and it's very prosperous. The thing about it is the police service or the security is not a business. They're not smart, right? They're dumb. The criminals are smarter than the national security or the security people. That it comes down to that, right? I know young boys who can't even read and write, right? And they have a computer system outwitting the policeman. The policeman going on something and they say, "Who is that? Where are we going? And what's going?" They don't even have things in the car. What they call it again to show you where you're going, whatever.
GPS.
They don't.
GPS.
They don't know where they're going. So how could you all talk so normally? Oh God, who fooling who? Who fooling who? And it quacks like a duck. Look like a duck. What it is? Not a duck. Anyway,
Thank you.
You see, Watchman, thanks very much for entertaining me, right? Although it came in late. Thanks very much for entertaining us.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw a question here on because I could see what the question. Somebody was saying something about Tunapuna.
Let me put it up. Let me put it back up. It says Wall Street a red birdie just go ahead, you can read it.
If Mr. Watchman was tipped to be MP Tunapuna under the PM, me? They didn't even tip me to be commissioner. They go tip me to be MP. People, I don't know where people get these kinds of things. I never was involved with any party. Never had a party card. I refuse to even go on stage and sing for any party. And I've been asked and offered money. I refuse. Because
you put that to rest. You put that to rest.
But there's nothing to even put to rest. It is impossible, and especially since I've been out of the country more than in for the last 25 years, that anybody would recommend me or even approach me or ask me or tell anybody. And Tunapuna, why not Shagwanas while living?
All right, caller, let's take this call. Caller, what's your question for Dr. Hayde?
Good afternoon to you, Wall Street, Uncle Tony, and good afternoon to you, Watchman.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Watchman. Mr. Watchman, as a Calypsonian, do you think that the Calypsonian them take Calypso where they're supposed to be? Next question. Without police wearing cameras and police don't want cameras even in the station, would you agree with me? In the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, at least 98% of the people that have been locked up and charged, most of them, 98% have been charged innocently because I watch a lot of Texas police and then they have to wear a camera, they can't mute it and all these things because that is evidence to show either innocent or guilty. And why it is the police and them don't want to wear camera.
And I would like to say my part on why I asked you that question with the Calypsonian and them. In my view, Calypsonians and them killed Calypso because Chutney reached so far. Most of them sing political songs, and political songs was not alone for Calypso. And today, when you sing Calypso, it's only Trinidadians listen to Calypso. And after that Calypso, after that 2 days, that 6 weeks, Calypso just dead. Do you think that Calypsonian really take Calypso where there was, or they take it for more politics and make politicians famous? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Dr. Hayde.
Okay, let me. No, it is not true that 98% of the people convicted are innocent. No, that's ridiculous to the extreme. And I can tell you from my own knowledge and thing, no, it is more like 98% will be guilty, but even if they are found not guilty, they might have committed a crime and still escaped judgment in the law. That's as a police, you know that you could win some, you lose some. It is not true. And even in the United States, initially they had, and you guys who live in America, there was a lot of resistance to wearing body cameras. And in fact, people have muted, have taken it off. But when they do and they are caught, they are disciplined one way or the other. So therefore, we have to make sure that we know what we're doing now. Not everybody wears body cameras. There are some people on undercover duties and so on. They only wear cameras if it is necessary for them to record for evidence purposes, because if the person find you in possession of that could compromise you and put your life at risk if you're doing certain kinds of jobs. But in terms of entry into buildings, search warrants, search and seizure, those kinds of things, then there's no reason why they shouldn't be wearing something that could show that they were doing the right thing. And many of the videos you see on social media, I comment on them to police officers, pointing out to them where things are right, where things are wrong, and we have discussions as to the police I would want some of those videos to be shown in court, because the people think that the police doing something wrong when I know they're doing something wrong. Now, on the question of the Calypsonians, I think a couple of things there. No, he's wrong. Only about 5% of the Calypso song in any year deals with politics and political issues. In fact, during my time, I could name the Calypsonians out of the hundreds who were singing, who would make a song that had a political slant, political leaning, or talk about politics. And I was one of the biggest ones. So everybody know it was Crow Crow, Watchman, Aloes. Of course, you had the old kings like Chogdas. Stalin would go half political, mostly social commentary. You had Luther, all right? And in the old days, you had a Gypsy who became more general rather than dealing with politics as a whole, because it might make you popular with some people, but very unpopular with others. And I can tell you from my own experience, I believe I suffered because of something I sang, for which I was denied a scholarship. But be that as it may, the problem is that Calypsonians only believe that Calypso should extend to Trinidad and to the smaller shows that they go to, and now extended shows like in Caribana and Notting Hill Mass and so on. They have never taken the page out of the reggae, dancehall, Jamaican experience and go anywhere else outside of the Caribbean, outside of their comfort zone. I was in Africa and I'm hearing Calypsonian songs being played. And those Calypsonians have never visited, don't even know that their songs are being played. And I would call them and say, hey, I'm hearing your song, you know. And they will put the songs on cassettes and things and call it African music. And they don't come. But in Uganda here, many Jamaicans have come. They come all the time. They go all over. Anyway, you show them a space, they will go. Our singers don't want to go. Only once I remember quite in the past, I saw a video of Marshall Montano doing a song in South Africa. And I was so proud to watch it, and it was good. And I think, and Cohen Dubois. And I know these people, I sing with them. But how many of them are known outside the small circle? We have created a small circle for ourselves and don't even know. I have to explain to people that Bend Over, Bend Over, Bend Over was made out of two other calypsos, Dollar Wine by Colin Lucas and Bend Over by Ghetto Flex and Saucy Wow, Dennis Belfort. And that Bend Over itself, the melody came from a 1967 song called Crimson and Clover.
Dr. Hayde, hold that thought right there. We got to go for a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to wrap up. Folks, stick and stay. We'll be right back.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
We are back with you. It's Sunday Talk. Let's talk politics with Uncle Tommy, Professor Wall Street, Dr. Wayne Hayde, and you.
Mr. Washington, I know it's crunch time and closing up time, man.
Yeah,
when
man.
the comes to the call, it was significant about what the government, the US government, cocoa, sugar, loads. I wonder if you can see that Calypso about the pain I'm going in the country right now. Like also, it's that I'm more that thing. I don't think I Calypso, Mr. Washington, this year. You go with the monarch.
Okay, thank you, man. Cool.
It is quite, you're right. And had I been in Trinidad, I would have, of course, sung against the government. I'm known for doing that. But I can tell you something. I have done worse in my Calypso career in terms of the songs I have sung when the PNM was in power and I'm singing. This which made me believe maybe I'm wrong, maybe my songs were not just good enough, but that the judges themselves have a particular slant. Okay? But that's how human beings are. So I could tell you when I was singing how popular my song was when one person was in power as opposed to the other. That is a reality.
So,
No,
Dr. Hayde, wait a minute. I want you to address this last question before you go. It's on the screen. It said, Mr. Hayde, unless you have something to lose, can you give your views?
Anselm, I feel like your question there, you know.
No. That come from the chat. You see the name there, Bull Song. That come from a fellow named Bull Song.
Okay. Yeah. No, okay. The question is to give my views on the present commissioner of police.
Yeah.
Unless I have something to lose. Well, I as an old policeman, I am always and I will always be a bit sympathetic to the plight of the police officer. And especially when persons are in high office, because I understand the difficulties of the job. Okay? And commissioners throughout the years have all failed to one degree or another in addressing murders in particular and gun crimes for all the reasons we discussed before. I have tried to support the present commissioner the same way how I tried to support Gary Griffith before. Because I want the police to do well. My problem with the present commissioner is twofold. And I know that anything I say, she might take it in a negative way and then become very upset about it. She is a good person. She is a good and honorable police officer. She is intelligent and hardworking. All of these attributes does not necessarily mean that you are the best commissioner or the best person to put in a position at a particular time. I honestly believe that at this time, we don't want a priest or a priestess or someone who are not as vicious as some other person might be. And I think we are at the stage now with our crime, especially gun-related crime, where we need someone with a lot more bite. Okay? All things being equal and in a more calmer time, there's nothing wrong with the present commissioner or the last set of commissioners being in position. But they are too silent. They are too quiet. They are afraid to rock the boat or interfere with the status quo unless they are supporting another side of the political or social argument. And as a result, things are left to people who may not have the authority or the power. Okay? I know that she is trying her best, but I also know that she has officers with her, not all of whom are on the same page. I go here, think quite out here that you there, and you go here. Okay? And amongst the senior officers, every one of them think that they should be commissioner from the rank of inspector up. And I think it was a travesty when they changed the system to allow just everybody to apply all and sundry. Some of them should not even be considered for the position. And we really look at what we need. But the political aspect of it and the interference from those in authority, whether it's the police service commission or the government of the day, means that only those who they want as commissioner will become commissioner.
Dr. Hayde, you know, I don't mean to stop. I don't mean to stop here, but I have to be honest with you. And the comments come to people. That answer you just give there, it seemed like you tipped the wrong Bali's house, and you don't know. You tipped the wrong Bali's house, and you didn't answer the question about the seal.
Because I did, and I was repeated that for the present situation that we're in, I do not think she is the most suitable person to be commissioner.
But wait.
She's not alone.
You're saying if it was the previous 5 years, she would have been acceptable?
No. I would say no, not even the previous 5 years.
Okay, all right. I'm
saying
she's in
that
over her head. Let me say she's in
I'm
over
not going
her
to
head.
be.
Do you agree that she's in over her head?
No, I would say that the executive are not attacking the problem as a team.
Dr. Hayde.
I see. What you all want me to do?
No, I don't want you to attack the commissioner of police. I don't want that. But
Yes.
I want when you're answering it, we know you're attorney. We know you're good. We know you are excellent. You are excellent writer. You know, you wrote your own Calypso. So you know you understand. But
Yes.
many people are living in Trinidad and Tobago want to hear from a person with an expertise like you, who was in the police force, that you know what? It was when they selected Ola Christopher as the commissioner of police, we kind of figured that we would be headed down this road where she was in over her head. And she
You want
showed
the-
it where she's
You
in a
want,
press
you want the answer?
Yes.
If the Police Service Commission didn't take that to kick me off the merit list so that I wouldn't get a chance to be commissioner of police, I believe I would have them on the run and under the gun, figuratively and literally if necessary.
And
you
we
understand?
and I think
but
the people of Trinidad and Tobago would have wanted that, wanted an aggressive person who's gonna go after the criminals in Trinidad and Tobago. And Ola Christopher is in over her head.
But they did get an aggressive person in Gary Griffith.
Yes.
But he was selectively aggressive.
Okay.
And they are.
Well, let me get back to Ola Christopher.
Right.
Let me ask you a question there before we go. Let me ask you a question. If you had to rank commissioner of police, where would you rank Ola Christopher?
I would. It would be unfair to do that.
Okay,
But if you want a straightforward question,
yeah,
I do not expect Ms. Christopher to be extended for the third year under the regulation.
Okay, all right.
And if she is extended, I do not foresee things getting much better in the present scenario. But the problem is who you go put.
You know what? And
because I believe that the commissioners must have a yearly assessment done in a way, not by just the Police Service Commission. There must be an element of public input into their feelings and belief, because a lot of things happen to people where they feel, even though it might not be correct, that feeling of security is sometimes good for the population to say, I am feeling better and stronger because I believe in this person. Not some people sit down in a room and giving grades, and when everybody else looking around and saying, what are they doing? What is that they put there? Who said that? I believe that the grading of the Commissioner of Police should be opened to more than just the Police Service Commission. The state, even Parliament, should have a say in it, and the public should have a say. You could have a chart in terms of how much percentage is under each category. That way, we could get a better feel.
You know, Dr. Hayde, this was really a splendiferous, tremendous, marvelous, just fantastic, spectacular discussion. and we have to have you back to continue this discussion, because this discussion that we had today, really and truly, they have it in Trinidad and Tobago, but it needed more with respect to what's going on, especially you say crime, most Trinidadians will say murders, especially when we talk about crime in Trinidad and Tobago, including murders, including home invasion, including the many other things that happen in Trinidad and Tobago. So
including human trafficking, all the Venezuelans coming over the border without any clearance, any control. They either have to go back home, or we put them in a place where we could control and know who we are getting. And we cannot be forced by any international agency or other countries to take problems that they don't want to take.
Dr. Hayde, any closing words before you go?
No, I'm just happy to share my beliefs. I don't expect everybody to agree with everything I've said.
Correct.
But I love my country, and even though I'm out here doing other things, I look around every day and I wonder what can I learn here that could make Trinidad and Tobago better. I wish I could come home and retire in Tobago. Believe me, I love Tobago.
Me too.
And I believe that Tobago should be treated as a special case and made a safe zone where crimes committed in Trinidad, you commit the same crime in Tobago, certain kinds of crimes, the penalty should be double. So a robbery in Trinidad, if you get in 10 years mandatory, you should get 20 years in Tobago. That is the only way to save the tourist island, the true tourist island that we have, because Trinidad is not really a tourist island. We're oil economy, gas economy, country. But Tobago is in the same realm as other Caribbean islands that use sun, sea, and sand to get their dollars.
Okay, I want to thank you so much, man, for taking the time to join us. And I'm going to reach out to you for you to come back again in order for us to continue this discussion, because this was a very valuable discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and you take time out of me watching the NFL divisional.
But I had to go and but me too, you know, not just you. Me too, you know. All right, take care.
Thank you, Dr.
Yes, sir.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a good night, gentlemen. All right.
Good night, sir.
So, folks, there you have it. Tommy, we are going to. Tommy, what are your any closing words, Tommy?
Yes. 1 second.
Folks, send your closing comments quickly. Send your closing comments and your closing quotes. So what we're going to do, folks, we're going to have, it's better for him to come in here on a Sunday because of the time in Uganda. It's now like when he comes in at 2, it is 8 o'clock there in Uganda. So we are pleasure to have him for almost 2 hours. So, you know, we can't take advantage, and we don't want him to have to get up 2 o'clock in the morning for us when we have our show on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So we're going to try to bring him back next Sunday and continue this discussion, because I thought this discussion was very, very, very valuable. What is my closing? Let me get my closing quote to me. My closing quote.
Since you're sticking, I'll go with mine.
Say that again.
Since you're looking, I'll go ahead with mine.
Okay, go ahead.
There will always be someone who can't see your worth. Don't let it be you. Like I say every time, you, man in the mirror, you can be that change and must be that change you want to see. But if you look in that mirror and you don't like what you see, do not blame the mirror. Never look down on a person unless you're giving them a hand up. Love you all. Be safe out there. We'll see you tomorrow in the village, God willing.
Thank you. And my closing quote, if you want to be happy, don't take stuff personal. Let stuff go. Let people be. Focus on you, your mental health, your spiritual health, your well-being, physically and financially. From where I sit, this is it. The clock on the wall said that's all I like to say, but I've got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. And for every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. Remember, your circumstances may determine who you are, but you are responsible for who you become. Closing quotes. Miss Atlanta says you have to bring him back Wall Street. Let me see what KFC sent here. KFC closing voice note. Let's go. KFC put a note there and he sent out. Let me see.
Hi. Good afternoon, Mr. Watchman, Uncle Tommy, man. And tomorrow we meet again, man. I see the President of America swearing in tomorrow, man. Donald Trump, bye. Mr. Washington. I will attack Mr. Watchman and sing a crime. Somebody issues and the problem we're facing in this country. We're fighting to live, cost of living going up. Let him sing a crime sooner. And sing about the real issues going on in the Trinidad and Tobago, man. And start trying to defend evil and wickedness and heartlessness under this PNM. Fire burn the PNM, the evil and wicked and heartless. Mr. Watchman, have a blessed day until tomorrow we meet again. Love.
All right. There we go, man. KFC say people are not frightened to live. Oh God. Yeah. All right. I think that is it for the what is this here? This no, I think I don't know if that is a voice note for the thing or that is a voice note for something else. So I ain't gonna play that. I ain't sure what that one is. Let me see. Okay. Full song says elevate CJ, keep up with the changes. Yes, CJ, if you subscribe to WZYE TV on YouTube, every time we go live, you'll get the email. Anna, welcome. Took Wall Street code today for my WhatsApp status. All right, there we go. Thank you. See, there's only one person you have to reach, you know. Volsang say, like soul fall asleep again, like you have dropsy. Okay, I know, must be. CJ say, Vol, I got real trouble to get this program. I subscribe, so I hope you won't have to go through this again. Nah, you won't have to go through it again. Volsang closing comment. Trust that I'm bringing the fire. Oh God, bringing the fire, boy. Tommy, look your partner, boy. Hey, your partner coming late. You get your phone late. Mean Jean closing comments. Very interesting show today. I'm impressed with Watchman's comment on the current situation on crime in Trinidad and Tobago. Okay. All right. All right. Mean Jean get your phone early today. Volsang say, Mr. Dr. Wade, please come again. Bear in mind, many of us have awoken. Okay, yeah, we have awoken, boy. All right, I think I saw some other closing comments here. Mr. Intellectual, it's a good program. Have a blessed one. I have to leave you guys. All right, I think that is it. So, folks, we're going to go out with a song by Wade Hayde. Lisa, bye. Bye to you, Lisa. Okay, folks, we are going to go out to this song by Wayne Hayde. See you guys tomorrow in the village, 7 to 10 p.m. Later. All right, let me read this quote from Miss Atlanta. I've learned silence from the talkative, tolerance from the intolerant, and kindness from the unkind. There we go.
Men go walk over here and then beg father just to get $1. Yes, we want to be rich. We don't have money, but we'll play lottery because we think we're lucky. Yes, back and forth we switch. But some of the rich people you admire, your business is laundering drug money. And when they're trying to outsmart the mafia, the grave is a cane field in Caroni. But if a man could sell cloth and barra on a bike, and 20 years later he gets wealthy, he could build up as many plazas as he likes. That is the progress I want to see. But if today a man broke and hungry, and tomorrow he driving posh motor car, my people may never own a Ferrari, but at least we could get old and retire. Rise up, my people, let the world know you are alive. Let them see that despite all struggle, my people are bound to survive.